What's up, dude?
Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
This is
Yeah,
working?
you're a little bit glitchy, but I can hear you.
Hmm. My internet is broken. I'm going off a phone hotspot. I almost went to a coffee shop. Is this working so far? Like, or should I switch to the internet and we can try that? What do you think? Or I can do my phone. We have three options.
So the only thing that's a little bit odd right now is like your tracking is off. So your words in your mouth are not lining up. So like there's a little bit of
Hmm.
a lag.
Yeah.
Uh yeah. See, like your voice is coming out first and then your mouth is moving, which is I don't know if anybody else is seeing that. But that's what I am seeing. What's up, dude?
Oh man, I don't know. The world. I'm tired. It's been a long
Okay,
week.
now it's
It's
better.
weird.
Now it's
Okay.
better. Now it's better.
Maybe it's just catching up because again, phone hotspot. You know what? I'm gonna actually. I got the show on the thing so I can see the chat. You're gonna have to tell me if there's fun things in the chat. I'm actually just gonna close it so we can just put all the energy to the Wi-Fi. Oh,
Yeah, there we go, man.
oh,
Let's do that.
how
So
are?
let's say what's up first to 8-Bit Mike, Brilliant Demon, Abaddon 40, Hobo Toys, FKD, David Dunn, Neckrath, Super Terrible Toys, Grayskull Toys, Acid 9, Zimico, DT O'Keefe, Headcase, what up? Cool Cat, what up? Eric Folkert's Pedals, what up? Ashley Alvarado, what's up? Great comment. Jazz Wiz, Dre has a drop coming up. What's up, everybody?
Ooh.
So let's just start with the obvious. Where's
Yeah,
Crumbs? Bliss
yeah.
Receptor, what's up, dog? Um, so here's the thing. Crumbs had a little bit of a dental emergency. Bureau of Print, what's up? Yeah. So he was supposed to go in for a little something this morning, and it kind of turned into a thing, and it's still kind of a thing right now. So he's going to join us when and if he can. Here's what's funny: all the tabs are on Crumbs's computer. So you and I are going to freestyle this shit
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
for as
Okay.
long as we possibly can,
Okay.
and it's going to be a good time, man.
Okay.
How do you feel about that?
The Oilers game is in 1 hour. So can we do all this in that amount of time? Or I'm going to need people in the chat that I cannot see to give me score updates. So you'll have to read the score updates that we get through the chat.
There you go. So you're an Oilers fan, eh?
That's funny. I like that accent. It actually is an accident, not an accident. Last year, bootleg sewer mutant from
Mm,
the area, and I just started watching the games together, and basically watched the entire playoffs together, just chatting on Instagram, and I had a blast. And I adopted the Oilers because he's my boy.
nice.
And yeah, so this year again, going through the playoffs, chatting with bootleg, and having a good time. So yeah.
Great. As I have adopted the Cubs because you are
Hmm.
my
Hmm.
friend and you're from the
Hmm.
Chicago area. And let's get this straight. First of all, I was under the impression that you were some big Cubs fan. O'Keefe pops in the chat last week and he's like, technically, he's a old school 86 Mets fan, which is like, I don't know, first of all, how you and I haven't talked about that, dude, because besides the 89 A's, my that's my favorite team, 86 Mets.
God,
I think the 85
Strawberry,
Mets are a better team.
Gooden.
But yes,
Yeah,
dude. I mean, the
just
list goes on,
hmm
right?
hmm
Doc.
just a oh,
I
yeah.
mean,
I know
Strawberry. The
that was
amount of
my team growing up.
in those fucking locker rooms is just insane.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. They had a good time back then. They had maybe maybe too much of a good time. Maybe that good time carried over a little too much through the days. I don't know.
Yeah. I think so, but I didn't know that, dude. So that's cool. I do like
Hmm.
that hat, man. I believe who was it, dude? Somebody did a shirt, and it's like that, but it says bootleg toys or it says something like that
Ooh.
with that Oilers logo. Who is
Hmm.
that, man? It's somebody in Canada. I want to say maybe Angry Beast or somebody who was making a lot of shirts. Magoob. It was Magoob.
Magoob. That sounds
Yes,
right. As you were talking about, I was like, I'm pretty sure I saw that on Magoob. Yeah.
yes.
So now I got to look for that.
And it might be his name in there, or it might say Resin Toys or something like that, but it's in that logo,
Hmm.
which is super cool. So that's cool, man. I didn't know the hockey playoffs were going on right now, dude. Yeah, I didn't know that.
Yeah, that's because you don't like good things.
Well,
So
that's not
that's
true.
on you.
Well, that's not
That's
true.
on you.
I mean, I like your stuff. So
That's not
yeah,
good things.
yeah, Dre, me too, man. What's
Uh,
up? What up, Fletch? Yeah. So, what up, on fake name? Dre says hope crumbs in his teeth is okay. Yeah, me too, man. So we'll see what happens with that. He might message here in a little while, to see what's up. So, anyways, what's been up with you, dude? What's going on?
Nothing good. Man, I tell you what.
Nothing good. That's not
Yeah,
true. That's
I'm
not
not
true.
joking when it all sucks right now. No, it's been a long week.
Yeah.
But I'm finishing up some pieces. My shop is totally destroyed. I'm working on projects. I'm being exhausted all the time and staying up too late watching hockey. But that's the life. And it's a good time. I can't complain. I'm having fun. I'm just tired.
Yeah. Yeah. You are you doing any of these upcoming shows? Are you in any of those?
I am in the Joe show, and I think that's the
Nice.
only one. And quick
Nice.
and quick because I want to make sure we're doing right. Is the sound okay? Like, am I still kind of glitchy or is it okay?
No, I think you're good, man. I think it. Yeah, I
Okay,
think it's smooth.
perfect,
Yeah, I think you're good.
perfect. I
Um,
got a question. I got a quick question to you though, because we're talking about the Mets. Like,
sure.
I had, as a kid, you learn about baseball and you do different things, right? So the
Hmm.
Mets were the real life team. I don't know when Eight Men Out the movie came out, but
Good one.
also became a big fan of the 1919 Black Sox because who doesn't love a team that cheats? Like, just an amazing story. So, parallel to loving the Mets, also became a huge fan of the 1919 Black Sox for throwing the World Series
Man,
to some
good one, dude.
gangsters.
8 Men Out. That's a good one, dude. That's a deep cut there for baseball movies, but that's a good one.
Hmm. Hmm.
Shoeless Joe and Company.
Hmm.
Very nice.
Apologies to the crowd who didn't realize they were coming on Sports Talk with B&A today.
Yeah, exactly. And so the 1919 White Sox obviously also were the team who comes out of the cornfield in Field of Dreams.
Hmm.
Those
Hmm.
were the players that were banned. So,
Hmm. Ties it all
correct.
together.
That's where
Yeah.
those kind of marry up, right? Good
Oh,
one. That's a good one, dude. Major League also. That is
oh man.
one of my top three movies all time.
Hmm.
Uh, and I always forget, dude. That thing came out. That's an '80s movie, dude. That thing came out late '80s.
And that's got a really good Randy Newman song in it. The one where it's just him piano, which it often is, and he's singing about the Cuyahoga River. I think being on fire. That's a fantastic song.
Rolling in
That
the
dude.
Cleveland to the lake. Yes,
Hmm.
that's the opener.
Yeah.
What a great one, dude.
Oh,
Yeah,
so good.
very nice. Bull Durham, good one, man. Am I the only one who's
Hmm.
hearing Sarah McLaughlin singing when looking at Stephanie's background here? uh,
Look at
yeah, I agree, man. God, those commercials are just so annoying, man. Like, okay, show me once, but dude, every single like 5 minutes is insane. Um, what else is going on, dude? What have you been collecting lately? You've been collecting lately? You've been
I
what's going on?
have. Um,
Yeah?
and I sent Crumbs all the pictures because I thought it would be easier to show them
Oh, of
as
course.
pictures.
Yeah. Way easier. Way easier.
Oh man, we can all be mad at his teeth right now. I hope he's feeling better. Um, I don't. Let's see. I have been collecting some stuff. Um, yeah, I can see if it'll show up. I don't know with like the green screen, or maybe I should switch that. Can I do
Yep.
that while I'm in here? Yeah, I can send it. All right, because it's gonna be hard to see it.
Pikmin's what's up?
Boom. Oh man, that's so boring. There's my current. Hey, look, it's so fancy. Um, I don't think I showed anything I got from Assembly Required, and I didn't bring a lot up. I did pick up finally a piece I really wanted for a long time from Hip Hop Toys. I always wanted one of his subway trains, the paying tribute to the old school graffiti
Yes.
artists. Uh,
Yes. Very
so
cool.
I got the Lady Pink train.
Nice, dude. Now, is that those are die cast metal? Yes.
Yeah, I think, yeah. At least
Nice.
the train part, and then the bottom is plastic. And I guess it lights up. I'm too much like I can't take things off. I think this tab would open up the battery so the lights come on inside, but
Yeah,
I don't
yeah,
know.
for sure.
It takes me forever to open things. I mean, I finally took out of the box for the first time yesterday, and the box is nice.
That's awesome. No, I'm sorry. Did you say you got that at AR?
Yes, he had them at a clutter show that he was in, or was his show. I don't remember what it was.
Yeah.
And she was up there actually like signing them, which would have been cool to get.
Nice.
But I never got a chance to do one of those, and I was really excited to see that he had these at AR, so I grabbed it.
Yeah, I actually saw him. He was at his booth painting those. I can't remember if it was the last decon or the decon before that, or maybe even the one before that, man. But it was, I think, probably at least two of them ago. He was at his booth. It's the first time I'd ever seen him. And
Hmm.
I was like, oh shit, he was actually painting them up right there. But yeah, those are sick, man.
Yeah,
He does a
that's
lot of
awesome.
good paint work, dude.
Yeah, and it was actually like shout out to Ashley and Super Terrible Toys because they actually got to host us when they came. He and Pikmin came up for the Muppet Show with Throwaway
Yes,
Toys and Eric Nilla.
yes.
So shout out to you guys for just hosting a really great time. Those things don't happen a lot, and love to see people in person.
Yeah, dude, that was super cool, man. I was kind of following along on the post on that. So that was the Muppet Show. That was that. No, was that at Toy de Jour?
Yeah, that was at Toy de Jour. Yeah.
Got it. How was that, man? Were you in that? No.
I was not in it. I'm not a big. I didn't have any good ideas. I'm not a big pop culture guy. When I'm making my pieces, I just don't have good ideas for that. In that way, um, so I didn't have anything good to submit. So I did not do it. It sounded like it was a good show. A lot more like they could because I think because it was an open show. So like kind of, you know, instead of curating it with someone, they got a lot of I think 2D submissions. So a lot of painting and stuff was up.
Nice.
So the pictures I saw, the wall looked like a lot more painting, less toys, but still a decent amount of toys. So
Yeah, dope, man. And everything was on display there at the shop.
I think it's still on display at the shop. Yeah.
Oh, nice. That's right, dude. When they do theirs, they kind of leave it up for a certain amount of time. I remember because I bought
Hmm.
stuff before. They said, "Well, you'll get it after it goes
Yeah.
off display or something." That's cool, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, Pikmin's sculpts for those were fucking insanely good, man. Those were super good.
Yes. Yeah. And he actually we're going to do a little side tangent, but I think it's a good time to do it.
Okay.
I did not get to do this, but the Sunday before everybody left, they all went to the Kane County Toy Show, which is a really big. It's like in kind of a really big toy show that I guess tons of people there. They all look like they bought some pretty good hauls, and there was
Mm-hmm.
like a side conversation at one point about figuring out ways to get people together, and someone threw out the idea. I don't remember who of this toy show happens like 3 times a year. It's a big toy show. There's something for everyone. I think everyone found something. It's an option if people want to think about it. I think the next one is in July, and the one after that is in October. So April, July, October. It's Chicago. It's kind of the middle of the country, you guys. Everyone pub, just
Yeah,
O'Hare Airport. You know,
yeah.
little little Kevin from Home Alone running through the airport with his family. Well, he wasn't running. His family was running because he missed it because he was at home sleeping. Um,
That's a
but
big difference, dude.
I think
Oh,
when we talk about like ideas of ways to get together, I thought not me, but whoever came up with that idea, that's a really great idea, and I think that should be something that people talk about. Is figuring out a way to just get a group of people together for a weekend. It doesn't have to be a convention. It doesn't have to be whatever. But the King County Toy Show is a way to hang out, go buy a bunch of toys, and just you know summer camp for toy kids. I don't know.
I dig it, man. That's actually something that I never thought of would be revolving something around. Not everybody talks about like a shop or a toy show or something like that.
Hmm.
But I think when we talk about toy shows, we talk about like indie toy shows, right? And the
Hmm.
fact of the matter is, there's just not very many of them. And to do something like that would be cool. With the God, dude, do you watch like Froggy Flips or anything like that on
Hmm.
YouTube? No,
Hmm.
so like everybody knows. There's a lot of people in here, I'm sure, know who Froggy Flips is, dude. But he goes to those. He's a collector and he sells stuff and he buys a ton of stuff, dude. Like and he films himself going to these conventions like that or toy shows like that. And I don't know if he was at that one or not, but he seems to hover around that kind of Midwest area.
Mhm.
Uh, and God, dude, the amount of stuff that he buys is just insane. But he does a really good job of documenting it. And
Nice.
God, dude, he's got a ton of followers on Instagram and everything. But he knows what's up, dude. He's got like, we think Jimmy Folklore's got it all. This dude is like Jimmy Folklore, like on super steroids, man. Yeah, Cool Cat says he was just watching Froggy earlier. Yeah, it's a really cool. Oh, it's on Ohio. Yeah, I think the dude is in Ohio or Indiana, maybe. I want to say right in there. There is an Ohio toy show. I think Plastic Vomit was talking about that one because I believe they're in Columbus, and that might be where the toy show is. But
Yeah.
anyways, yeah.
I don't know how you would plan something like that, but maybe if someone knows something that's pretty big and fun coming to their area and just wants to put it up and see if anyone wants to go. But I don't think I'm in town for the July toy show. I will be here for the October one though, so I'm definitely going to try and go to that one. And if people want to look at the date and think about putting together a thing, yeah, let's try it.
That would be cool, man. I know. Yeah, dude, I like the fact of how it's in like it's more towards the Midwest as opposed to. What about you going to AR in Philly this year?
I don't think I can.
Yeah.
I think in future years, I don't think it's just enough time for us to plan right now. It's too close to the school year starting and everything.
Mm,
But it is close to where I grew up, so it's going to make it easier to go in the future. But that actually makes it harder. This is just life. It's hard, you guys. But like if I'm going there, I'm going to see my family, which means I'm bringing my family with me, which also means it's harder to be able to have free time and be like, hey, everyone, let's go to this indie toy show and you guys all have a great time. And they're all just kind of like rolling their eyes at me. Whereas Asheville is definitely like, if I'm doing that, I'm doing it by myself and it's easier to be able to do that. Does that make sense?
yeah.
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 So,
No, I get it, man. That makes sense. God, dude, I wish there was something out here so bad, dude. I know it's like, but when you're talking about different coasts, man, it's hard to get people to come out. I think that if I did something up in Northern California, I think just from the Bay Area, there would be a decent amount of people. But plus, there's little toy shows like that in this area all the time. There's all these little cons that they do. So I don't think the crowd would necessarily be a problem. But I think just getting people to come out here would be, shit, dude. It's, like I said, it's on the other side of the country. So.
yeah.
But anyways, well, if you end up doing something, let's talk about that. That would be very cool.
Also, do you want to see more toy? What do you want to do next? Do you want to talk about more toys? You want to, I don't know.
Yeah, let's do it, man.
Let's,
Which got over there?
um, okay. This guy does not know I have this.
Oh,
Um, I'm kind of excited that he's finally going to know who owns it. He might know who owns it. Maybe he found out. I don't know. But I am the proud owner of the bootleg Sewer Mutant Punk Trooper. Yeah.
That is
Ooh, let's put that in
very
front of my face. Man, I
now.
love this thing. I didn't, and just bootleg. I didn't just buy it because it was yours. I bought it because I don't have a painted piece by you, and the pieces that went your I can't remember the name of the piece. The cloud guy that you sent to this is not a toy store for the carded figure show last year was amazing. But when I saw this and I had the ability to get a painted figure by you, oh yeah. It's just such a great paint job. The graffiti on the wall is so good, like the variations and style. I'm trying to like see.
So good, dude. Now this was the Kerfloss sculpted
Hmm.
Death and Strawberries. Help me out. Wildfire Firefighter Foundation. Was that correct?
Yeah, some kind of firefighter foundation donation thing. Yeah, and
Right.
it's got like the concrete base, which is just so there's such a nice heaviness to these.
Oh God, I bet, dude.
Ah, with the cutout. Ah, it's
Yeah,
so good.
yeah.
And the
Mm.
textures. Yeah.
That is great, dude.
Pretty excited about that. I think Kerf has been a little quiet since he did that one, but I hope he's going to come out soon and start a new project that we can all see. But I'm sure life happens to all of us, and we got to take breaks sometime. Um,
Yeah.
the other piece that I'm really excited about. Um, so do we remember I talked about these on a show? a while back. We were just going through my collection, and these are my OG injured Joes. Like these guys, just injured on the battlefield, broken legs, two broken legs and an arm, two broken arms, just injured dudes. Like, I mean, come on, we all did it as kids. I used to take a can of WD-40 and put a lighter in front of it and torch them and try and melt them. I just, um, personal hero and really good human bliss receptor was watching that and decided to grab a figure, a Joe, wrap it in masking tape like it was injured, threw it in the yard for like 5 to 6 months, painted it with blood, and sent it to me. And this is 100% one of my favorite figures right now.
That is
Just
awesome, dude.
that he got. I mean, the texture of the masking tape is so good because it's like a little crunchy, like these guys are from just being old. The blood is so good. He's so taped up. Um, I love this. And I have want to pay tribute to these in my own way in the future. And he actually gave me some ideas with this thing he sent me. So I think it's just a really fun thing. And that he threw it in the yard for 5 to 6 months just to let it age. Come on. This is a fine wine piece right here. All right. Aged in dirt and grass like every good toy should. Yeah.
Wow.
Just what a
Very nice.
beautiful toy. What a beautiful person.
Very nice, man.
He also sent me one of these bootleg RoboCop figures because I'm a big RoboCop fan. So
Very cool. That is very cool. Now, what was that? Can you show that one more time?
oh yeah, it's nice because the head it's kind of cracked in the thing here, so the head is poking out. That there it is over there. Toys kind of coming out the bottom. Police
Nice.
Force 2002 or 2005. It's hard to tell this way. 2002.
Now, is that a from like a English bootleg company? Is that what that is?
This is made in China. Got some Spanish on it. Oh yeah, I don't know the company.
Yeah.
Came from a store called PVP.
Nice. Okay, perfect.
No price tag. And I think the only other thing I got, and then I picked up these guys at a shop, which was kind of fun. These are just some little Lucha Libre guys. They're a little bit smaller. I've never seen guys like this before. They're a little bit smaller than like Keshi figures. I kind of liked the size of them. I love that the American flagged wrestler has. I don't know if you can see the hammer and sickle on it, so I'm not
Yes.
sure what's going on there, but I like the confusing ideologies. The art on this is so good.
Yeah.
The text and everything. Yeah. This was just a local grab at a toy store. I probably way overpaid for it, but I couldn't pass it up. It was just, yeah.
Nice.
And then I think the only other recent thing I bought, I think I showed you this one, was I definitely overpaid for the Matchbox car, the Matt Mattel Creations thing,
Yeah,
with
yeah.
this crazy. So, you guys, this is how you package something. I mean, I'm never going to be able to do this in my life, but like, it rises.
Oh yeah, dude. Yes, you did show me that. Oh god, that is so cool.
It rises. It's some guy called Daniel Arsham, who I think, or David Arsham, I don't remember. But it's just kind of this eroded Mustang.
Yeah.
Looks like the old Bullet car, which I love that movie. I just like the textures. I like the look of it. Um, I don't. I'm gonna take it apart. I hate that it's kind of screwed in here. Like freaking, whatever, dude. Take your CGC graded comics and tear them open, man. Free the toys. How are you supposed to play with it and touch it? Whatever.
And
Those are
so
my.
what is that? Is that just like any? That's not a car from anything. That's just something that guy made.
I think that yeah. I mean, his whole style is kind of degraded
Hmm.
things like that, and
Yeah,
I don't
yeah.
know other stuff. I actually am not super excited by his art, but I was excited by this. Um, and so yeah, he just had I think he had a run of a bunch of different figures through Mattel. He's one of those artists who I'm not trying to be judgy here, but like works with brands a lot. So like, oh, I've got the Adidas stuff. I got this. So kind of mingling his artistic taste with commercial whatever, which is fine. Everybody got to make a buck. I'm not judging.
That kind
But
of sounds
yeah,
like you're judging.
what?
Kind of sounds like you're judging.
I'm not. I'm just trying to be judgy, you know. Everybody got to make a buck, you know. I was actually talking to Crumbs about it because I was making some kind of judgy statements, and I was like, you know what? Here's the thing. You're not really selling out unless you're compromising your artistic vision for money. But
Mm,
maybe part of your artistic vision is making money, so you got to eat, right? Whatever. I'm
yeah.
not here to judge. I'm judging. Um, and that's all I got. Those were kind of my newest, most favorite things that I picked up or were
Nice.
sent to me.
Some good stuff in there, man. How was AR, dude? We didn't really talk to a lot of people after the fact um, about AR in, in North Carolina, the
Asheville.
Nashville
Yeah.
Festival. Yeah. What I know it was at the new venue this year.
Mhm.
How was that, man? How'd it go?
The new venue was great. It was a lot more spacious. It was nice kind of being in central downtown. Um, I think so. Well, there were a lot of new people there, which was great. Some old people there too. Um, I think I had the fun part for me was now having this was my second year of vending was actually having repeat people like come back and buy pieces who I remember too.
Mm,
There was a couple that I remember who came by, a young couple, and then another guy who came by and bought a hat and a shirt who had been there the year before. I'm terrible with names. I wish I could remember all your names when you come by, but I don't. Um, but that was a lot of fun. Um, I think foot traffic was a little slower this year, but I mean, they had a natural disaster last year that they're still recovering from. But it was still good business regardless. Um, and it was just great seeing everyone.
yeah.
Yeah, I think it was, and do think it was a lot more fun being downtown. Like it wasn't like you and I were waiting around for 3 hours for an Uber with a crazy driver that doesn't know where he's going and has crazy lights everywhere. Um, like could just walk out of the hotel, walk across the street, you're running into like 10 toy people,
Yeah.
standing outside smoking,
Mm,
getting some drinks, whatever. Um, um, Pocket Salsa and Jazz Wizard and I found this little pinball place. It was nothing but pinball. You pay like $10, all the pinball you can play. The only problem was it closed so early. It closed at like 8 o'clock. Um,
mm.
Found good places to eat. Yeah, it was a good year. A lot of good toys. Met some new people. Yeah.
Yeah, I remember looking at the lineup and seeing a bunch of people that like I didn't notice from the year before or the year before
Hmm.
even. Um, Cool Cat says seemed less crowded, but that's also because it was a bigger venue. That makes sense. Yeah, and that's kind of what I heard too.
Hmm.
That's cool,
Yeah.
man. I think after Matt announced where it's going to be in Philly, that place looks pretty cool too. I don't know how many tables that holds, but that should be good, dude. I know that there's a lot going on in Philly as far as the art scene.
Hmm.
Um, Eddie could probably fill that place up by himself if he wanted to with all the different shit that he's got going on. But um,
And I
that's
love
cool.
that and I love that he's branching out and trying to expand it, on a scale that he feels comfortable with. I think
Yeah.
assembly Asheville's always going to be assembly required in my heart. Hopefully I can get to the Philly one, not this year, but some year. Um, but Asheville, I just love going down there, you guys. I'm going to sell that place forever. You guys are going to be tired of me talking about it, but it is a good time. So,
It is,
um,
man. It is a good time, and I think the first time I went out there, dude, I had no idea like what kind of terrain was out there. That's very much like Northern California as you're going up like 50 towards Lake Tahoe. It's
mhm,
like that mountainous terrain, dude. It's like identical, and I had no idea it was like that at all. But
mhm.
yeah, dude, cool spot for sure.
And Philly's got real potential too, because Philly's got so much access. I mean, growing up in the East Coast, like where I grew up, DC's right there, Baltimore's right there, Philly's right there, New York's not that far either. There's
Yeah,
so much right there that I think, you get the advertising done right, you spread the word around the right way, you could pull a pretty good sized crowd from the surrounding areas.
yeah, exactly, dude. I was over at her toys house the other day, man, and we were talking about like that Philly crowd. And I'm like, man, just with the people, the artists from Philly, if they went there and just their friends and family came, you know what I mean? Like that's already a good sized crowd. And maybe they don't even know too much about, this indie scene. But I
Mhm.
think it's if those people are a part of it, um, or there somehow, right? That and people came to see them. I mean, it's kind of like a no brainer, I think. But it's exciting, man. It'll be cool. I am going to show a couple pieces here. that I've acquired over the last few days or weeks, I should say. I got this mail thing going on, dude, and here's the problem, right? So I go down to pick it up. I'm not getting mail delivered to my house right now because of my neighbor's dog. Blah 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 blah.
Oh my God. No. Wait a second. Blah, 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 blah. I can't get mail because my neighbor's dog. What
Yeah.
is happening?
Okay. So okay, man. Okay. This is the thing, right? This is the thing. I don't know
I'm
what
sorry.
happened.
I can't let that go. I'm sorry. I
Yeah.
can't let
Okay.
that
So we
go.
talked about it last week a little bit. Thanks for watching. And the
This guy. This guy.
uh, so basically, I stopped getting a few weeks ago. I stopped getting mail. Period. Right. And I was doing this thing where I was printing out the labels at home. I was slapping them on the packages, and I would just set them by the front door. I get front door service. Everybody in my area in this whole neighborhood has the old school mailboxes on our porch. It's great. I don't even have to like lean out of the house all the way to get my mail. Right. It's perfect. It's been like that since I've lived here for 15 years. Um, I stopped getting mail all of a sudden. And I'm like, what the hell? I know I was expecting some packages. So I look at the tracking form and it says that it starts saying stuff like um, refused delivery on some of them. I'm like, what the hell? So then I look at another one and it says animal interference. And then I see another one that says animal interference. And I'm like, what the fuck?
Mm,
I don't have any pets at
mhm,
all, man. You know what I mean? And my neighbor
mhm.
does have a dog. It it runs on batteries, dude. It's a small dog. It is just, it's not big at all. It's cool with all the kids in the court and all that shit, right? So I end up calling there, and the lady's like, "Oh yeah, well they're holding it down at the post office for you." And I'm like, "Does it say why?" And she goes, "Oh, it looked like there was an animal on the way." I'm like, "All right, maybe there was a problem." Go down to the post office, give them my address, and they're like, "Ugh." They go, "Did you hear what happened on your street?" And I'm like, "No." And they said, "Well, your neighbor's dog bit the postman." And I'm like, "Well, which neighbor was it?" And so they tell them, and of course, it's the one right next to me. Like, and I said, okay, so what's going on now? And they said, well, there's something going on. They're trying to get something figured out, and we're not going to deliver mail to your entire street until it gets fixed.
That sucks. Okay.
Yeah, dude. And that was weeks ago. And I'm like, all right, maybe it's a few days, whatever. So I end up going there a couple more times. And the thing that's annoying, dude, is when you go there, you give them your address, they go, and dude, I get a lot of mail, just junk mail in general, right?
Hmm.
Besides packages, I go in there to pick it up one day, and the girl comes out and she's got one single envelope of junk mail. And I've said, that can't be it. She goes, yeah, that's all it is. I said, that can't be. I said, my tracking right here says it's here. You guys are holding it. So I'm like, nah, it's not here. I don't know. So I go back on Monday, and of course, someone knows what they're doing, and they just give me like this mountain of shit. And so I asked when it's going to be resolved. They said at least a month, and I will no longer be getting port service. They're going to put in one of those community mailboxes at the end of my street, so the postman doesn't
Ooh.
have to come to
Mhm,
enter the street at all. He can
mhm.
go off the cross street. So
Oh man,
that's that
that
story,
sucks.
man. I mean, what the hell, right? It's so
Mm,
stupid, dude. And it's like,
mhm.
who said that you could tell people that I refuse packages, right? Like I got the boxes down there, and then I pick them up. And I was talking to Porpoise the other day because this is one of them that I got. And I get my packages, dude, and there's AI written all over my boxes, not like once or twice, like a
Mhm.
dozen times on each box. AI, animal interference. So
That's
anyway,
insane, dude.
dude,
Uh,
yeah, Jazzwiz says that's super excessive. I would say so, dude. Like if you're not going to deliver mail to their house, I get it. That's cool, whatever. That's their problem. But to the whole street, dude, come
yeah.
on, man. I mean, there's like I live on a street where like these houses are kind of old, and some of the people that live in my court are the original owners of these houses. So they're old, dude. You know what I mean? And now they got to walk all the way down there to get the mail. That's some bullshit, I think. That's not
That's
really.
this. This sounds like a cash opportunity for you, though.
You know what, dude? If my son is graduating from the fire department academy in
Oh,
2 weeks.
nice,
Yeah, and
nice.
if he wasn't doing that, I'd be like, hey man, why don't you start going rounding up everybody's mail?
Can
That's
I?
not very well, but
Every every post office is so different, right? Like I have a local place that I do not go to anymore. They were terrible. I was trying to get like the the amount of postage I would have to put on to send zines to,
mm,
like Europe, wherever. Um, and it was like such a burden for this guy. Like he's like picking up the stamps and like slapping them down. Like, oh God, I gotta do fucking math. Ugh. Um, and just it was the worst. And I'm pretty sure like every envelope I overpaid the amount on too. There is a post office near work that is like a 10-minute walk. You walk in the door, they've got really good soul music on.
Huh.
The one guy is just singing the songs like while he's ringing up your stuff. The woman
Yeah.
on the other counter is just the nicest lady. I do not do surveys. Like if you hand me your receipt and like circle the thing, you're like, please do the survey and tell us your experience. Every
Yeah.
time I go to that post office, I do the fucking survey and I tell them how amazing these people are because I want them to get as much money as they want because they are good, and they make sure my shit gets mailed. They tell me really great prices on it, and everything gets where it needs to be. I love that post office. I should learn their names so I can like shout them out. But I think I should buy them Christmas presents. They are so good. And then like my local stuff, like it's such a pain because then I got to take all this shit to work and then I got to walk there. But if I go local, it's horrible. Like there's just I don't know. It is what it is.
Is what it is. Dude, that is something that's invaluable. Me and her talk about that all the time. Just customer service. We have a similar situation here, but it's with the UPS store. So we don't mail a lot of stuff from the UPS store, but the UPS store here in town is amazing. Like they have a system there that's like unmatched, dude. It's like Disneyland parking. It's like it is just like
Mhm.
boom, boom, the same every time. Super good. Which is also a stark contrast to the post office that I have down the street from me where I do all my business at. Like you said, dude, it's just a miserable place. You go in there, there's always a
Mhm.
line. Someone's always
Mhm.
pissed off. Someone's always looking for a key or something like that. It's just,
Key.
I don't know. But and then you see someone like who works for the post office, like Ordinary Toys, and he's
Mhm.
one of the best people currently walking the earth. You know
Mhm.
what I mean? But then again, he doesn't work inside. He's out on the path doing his
Mhm.
thing, I believe. So that's probably
Yeah,
another reason.
and I'm not trying to judge all postal workers. There's some pretty amazing people out there, but man, sometimes you go in and it is rough.
Yeah, yeah, I hear you. Well, that being said, dude, take a look at this. This is from Retro Gimmick. I think he ended up making more than one of these. I thought it was a one-off when I bought it, but it is not a one-off. Either way, I thought it was pretty cool. Um,
Ooh.
yeah, it's a beefy one, dude. He's got a nice stand on it, which I believe is. I can't figure it out, dude. The base, honestly. It definitely looks like resin on the bottom,
Yeah.
but this top part feels way too finished to be the same thing. So I don't know what that is. It's almost like he filled up a mold. Maybe it is perfect resin. And you know what? Now I'm looking at it, it might be, man. But
Mhm.
anyways, it's very cool. It almost looks like a wooden block or something like that. But
Can I see the side? I love how thick that thing is. That's fun.
yeah,
And how deep, yeah, that you can see how deep he goes into it.
yeah, exactly, dude. That's what I was thinking too, man. That like he's sunk in there pretty good,
Hmm.
which is funny. I bought this right around Robot Resurrection, and I thought, man, that would be a good idea, you know. But yeah, that's a cool one.
Did you get any Robot Resurrection pieces?
I did, I did, man. We're gonna take a look at a couple of them.
Okay, no rush on your time.
Yeah, and I'm just thinking, man. I think I might have some at the post office. I meant to get there today. You know what I did buy though is there was a lot of people had May the 4th pieces this year.
Mm-hmm.
And those didn't come in yet, but or actually maybe they did, and I just don't know it. Next on the list, now check out this one, dude. I don't know if you saw these. I'm sure you did. These are the Healy made wrestler,
Mm-hmm.
the larger ones.
Yeah.
Yeah, super cool.
What do you think compared to the smaller ones? What's your, you got both now. What do you think?
Um, I love the scale of these.
Hmm.
He doesn't work in this scale a whole lot. Definitely not for just like figures like this. Um, but they're great, man. They have a lot of weight to them. The arms do articulate a little bit,
Oh,
just
nice.
yeah, just a little bit like that. You can tell the waist moves a little bit. Like I don't know if you'd want to do that too much, but
Hmm.
it's cool, man. I mean, the whole idea of the Star Wars wrestlers is, God, dude, I mean, it's a home run, dude. That's one of those like automatic ones. And you know, kind of similar to what Barrio Boba is doing is, you know, kind of redoing some of them and then doing them in a larger scale. I think when you have stuff like this that works, as with Barrio Boba stuff, man, I think it's, you know, I don't want to say it's a no-brainer, but it's definitely something I think Healy fans would be interested in or something like that, you know.
Actually, watching the Oilers, having a conversation with Bootleg Superman, we were talking about something about Healy. There's something about him, like this is a professional dude, right? Like, you know, he's got projects lined up for who knows how long that are going to come down the pipeline, professional operation, but feels so accessible, right? And just like, just a good dude. I don't know how to explain it, but there's something. I think we were just talking about how there's something appealing about his work and about how he puts it out into the world
Mm.
that just feels very accessible. It doesn't feel like a commercial entity, like buy my pieces, buy this, buy that. Like it's just very like, I got some stuff and it's really cool. Here it is. I don't know. Does that make sense? I just, there's something
It
about the way
makes
he runs.
it makes a ton of sense, dude. It makes a ton of sense, man. And that's one of the many, many reasons that I mean, everything you see behind me is Healy. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Every single one of them, with the exception of your stuff right here. Yoink.
Ooh, just a tad.
Yeah. Yeah. Um, but you're right, dude. It's, you know, he's definitely got a formula. I think the last time that we had him on, it's crazy, dude, that he's a one-man operation.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? From pretty much everything, the packaging, the mailing, all that stuff, dude, is all him. I
And
think for
his
a while,
the numbers he releases don't feel inaccessible to me, right? Like, you know,
yeah.
you don't need to hit the drop right at noon, but you need to hit the drop in a reasonable amount of time to get it, right? Like, stuff isn't so small runs that it's just gone, but it's not so large that he's sitting on inventory for forever. I mean, he's got it down. It's really
Oh,
good.
dude, yeah, 100%, dude. I think he's really got a feel for how much is going to sell, how much he's going to have, and it seems like it sells out the majority of the time, right? Like, I don't know, like maybe he leaves it up there for a certain amount of time, and if it doesn't sell, then he just pulls out, you know, whatever's
Mhm.
left. Like that one, he's got the all white
Is
GI
it the
Joe.
Storm Shadow one? Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, he's got that on there
Mhm.
right now, and that's been up there for a while. So I'm just
Yeah.
assuming that those have not sold out yet. So that could be it. Now, if that's the case,
Mhm.
the turnover in that thing, I mean, pieces like you said, dude. Some of them, you know, go super fast. Other ones, you
Mhm.
know, they're not up there for more than a couple days. But
Like, who did
still,
he do the new Sofubi that was? I don't remember which figure it was right now. The Hulk colorway that he just put out, that he's put up for
Hammerhead,
that he's going to
yeah,
do a new order. Yeah. I mean, that's a great piece. But then he's just like, yeah, let's do some more. Hit me in the DMs. Let me
right,
know if you want a piece, and if I get enough, we'll do it. And he did. Like, that's just, I don't know. I just
yeah.
good vibes there. Good vibes from Healy all times.
Yeah, straight up, dude. I agree, man. And like you said, a super accessible, just super nice guy, willing to answer anything. I hit him up about pieces all the time. He's quick to respond, and he'll tell you the
Mhm.
story about how this became that. And it's just a matter of asking. You know, you can actually go back through his, um, you know, feed and find something from, you know, 6, 7 years ago, and
Mhm.
hit him up and say, "Hey, man, I was looking for a custom of this. Do you still have this mold?" And he's glad to do it. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? And it's uh, the amount of customs that he does, I think says a lot. You know what I mean? A lot of his posts that he
Mhm.
does, um, I don't want to say the drops are few and far between. I think the drops are pretty consistent, you know, throughout
Mhm.
the month, probably three-ish, right, per month, I would say, with him. But the amount of posts that he does, and the majority of them say commission,
Mhm.
and that just, you know, I know he's got a standard price for unpainted, and then he'll throw us a little bit more on there for paint, but still, I mean, when you look at them, dude, they're not outrageously priced. You know, you look at them, you're like,
Mhm.
well, fuck, dude, that's for what you're
Yeah.
getting. That's fair. You know?
Super reasonable. And promotional plug for you guys. Amazing interview. And actually talking to you, I'm like, I need to go back and watch the interview you guys did with him, because I feel like that was one of those, you're learning shit the whole time.
Yeah, that's a great point, dude. That was a couple Christmases ago when he was on. And the great thing about that one, dude, is I think he stayed for almost 3 hours
Hmm.
for that interview. And it honestly, dude, it's time to have him on again. I know he's got a lot of stuff going on. You said stuff in the pipeline, like holy shit, dude. It's crazy. And it's crazy when you have like a base figure that you can do in a 3.75, a vinyl, a 4-inch, you know, whatever you want. You can do all kinds of stuff with it, and it sells every single time. Crazy.
Yeah.
And clean too, right? Like just like the black with the silver logo, or just the whole kind of dark feel all together, man. I dig it.
Yeah, that dude, I mean, he knows color so well, which is like that's something this year I'm really trying to understand color a lot more. Like I want to really be able to put things together without a lot of experimentation first. Like understand, oh, if I do this with this and this, it's going to work. I mean, his colors are just so good.
Yeah. So good, man. And it's, you know, I think that's one of the main things that turned me on to him right away, was that first Raider series where he was painting them all like different characters. And it's instantly recognizable, and it just kind of shows how important like the palette can be if you arrange it correctly, or you know. But you're right, dude, his color, his marbling, man, is just like outstanding, dude, sometimes. And
Yeah.
you know what, you know what's funny is sometimes we'll be talking about whatever, right? And then some of his pieces come up and we start talking about some of the marbling, and he'll be like, man, you know, the marbling gods were with me that day. And I just kept going because everything came out super sick, and I just kept going until it stopped being sick, you know? And it's crazy, dude. I think there's probably I don't even make anything, but I think a lot of people can probably relate to that. You know, Hurt Toys is in the middle of a project right now, dude, and he's got to kind of hit that, you know, area of a block of time where the weather's got to cooperate with you, and the garage and all kinds of stuff, man. So it's there's a lot to it for sure. Can you hear me? I think you're stuck. Oh, there you go. You were stuck.
I can hear you. Yeah.
Cool.
I mean, you got a lot. I'm just curious. Do you have a favorite wrestler from Healy?
A favorite wrestler?
From Healy.
From Healy. God, dude, you know, I don't know. It's hard, man. It's hard to pick a favorite for sure. I mean, I think I was thinking about the Boba Fett's that I have. The Boba Fett's not my favorite, but I think I have probably 7 or 8 versions of the Boba Fett. That's one that seems to come up a lot. Like for Halloween, he did like a black and orange marble or something like that. But those are cool. But I don't know, man. I mean, probably something from the original. The Bosk is really cool. What I like about these, dude, is the stances from them, like the original, like the Greedo, the original stance is cool. Do you know about these, where he got these stances from on these figures?
No.
There's an old Japanese wrestling line that if you find them, you'll see these bodies, and that's where those came from. There's an account out there on Instagram called Now Home NYC, and that guy is also a Healy collector. But from what I gather, he goes to Japan sometimes and brings stuff back, and he had a lot of those wrestlers in those original bodies. For instance, like the Baba, right? Here's an interesting story on the IG-88. So,
and I can still hear you.
You can still hear me? Okay, cool. Yeah. So the Baba right here on the end, there was a Japanese wrestler called, I believe it was the Giant Baba. And that's where his, it's kind of got this stance, and he's one of the taller figures. This one, he's on the IG-88. But that same body right here, if you look at that stance, how he's kind of like that, it's the same body base that was used for the Baba right here. And the Baba right here, these are all Babas right here. But he's now sculpted on top of these. So that's where the name Baba came for these. But it's actually a Japanese wrestler that was also done on this IG-88. But like the Greedo figure and some of these other ones, they're great, dude. I mean, because what you can do is you can look at that line of the old Japanese wrestling toys and see those figures, the bodies, and you're like, oh, there it is. It's right there. But yeah. Anyways, that's it's like I said, it's hard to pick a favorite, man. I think probably that Greedo, just because of the stance. I think the stance on one of these things is, you know, it's a really cool mashup, right? Star Wars and wrestling. I mean, those are two gigantic franchises, so I think that's going to be a winner pretty much anytime. Star Wars, anything is going to sell, right? But they're done so good, dude, and the poses are the poses are great, man. They're really cool. They really have a lot of not detail, but motion in them. I guess there's a lot of like
Mhm.
emotion in them as well.
Yeah, like the one where he's just like pointing up. I don't remember which one it is, but I love that one.
The
Yeah.
Akbar, yeah, dude, that's
Hmm.
a great one, dude. The Vader one where he's pointing like this one's in a couple of them.
Hmm.
Even the referee down here where he's kind of in his, the medical droid, he's in that
Yep.
kind of stance. Um, but yeah, they're great, dude. And that's what I'm talking about is when you have figures like that, like he's done the Boba Fett so many times, you could do any of these figures in any flavor and they're gonna sell. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
Just because they are what they are, and I think they work on, dude. It's just kind of like we were talking about. So Dookie's, his obscuros that he's doing right now, right? Like those to me look good in anything. Um, and it's just there's some figures out there, man, where I think when you hit a home run like that,
Hmm.
now you're just talking about like how to not oversaturate everything. I think that's also one really good thing that Eddie's good at. He's
Hmm.
starting to get a really good bank of characters and figures where, um, Speed Skull is a great example. I mean, that thing has sold so many, and no matter what it looks like, it sells. It's crazy.
Yeah. And I also
So
think creatively as a maker, it's a way to not get tired of doing something like, oh, I can do it a little bigger. It helps me. I don't know. For me personally, because I'm
yeah,
someone who can't do the same thing over and over again, except Ewoks
yeah,
apparently. But like the ability to like make it bigger, do something a
sure.
little different that's just enough different to keep you interested, keep you creatively moving with that piece. Yeah, I
Yeah.
like it.
Yeah, straight up, man. Me and Suki were talking the other day, man. He was showing me a piece that he had got. And Suki, if you're still watching, man, let me know who that piece was by. But he had this orange piece, and it almost had like a robotic body, and then like octopus arms and stuff. And I couldn't really tell how big it was in the bag, but it turns out it was only about 2 to 2.5 inches tall. And when I first looked at it, I thought, God, dude, that would be awesome in a vinyl. 00 Creative. There you go. Um, right when I saw it, I was like, dude, that would in a vinyl would be super sick, dude. Like the bigger, the better.
Hmm.
And I think um, that's another great thing too, man, is just enlarging the size, much like the wrestlers that he's doing, much like Barrio Boba's doing. And, shit, I'm sure I know for a fact that that's something that Eddie's been exploring too, is making some of those figures in a larger size. And I'm just like, fucking home run, dude. Why wouldn't you buy those? If you know what I mean? That's an
Yeah.
easy one. Um, and then there you go. Suki says he's working up to Safubi, I believe, which is cool. But yeah, dude, I know that the other thing, Healy's got a couple things coming up down the line that uh, I was super impressed, dude. I don't know when he's going to release them, but it's I saw something that it's extremely different. I've never
Nice.
seen anything like it from him before, and that's going to be cool, dude. I think they're definitely going to fucking sell out. You're going to want one for sure. Um,
Let's bring it, Healy. Bring it.
yeah, right. So let's take a look at some other
Is he
ones, dude.
doing a
So here's
Sofubi
something that
collab?
now this is interesting, dude. So have you ever? So let's start here. Do you ever look for things on the aftermarket as far as
What do you
like
mean?
for
But like,
as far as indie toys?
not really. I just,
No.
yeah, I don't. To be honest, I don't even know where to look. I mean, eBay. That's what I would do.
Yeah.
I'm not.
Well,
Yeah.
there's some other stores. There's like Vicious Fun and some other like online stores that have,
Okay.
Dove, for example. You know what I mean? I
Mm.
would consider him obviously, even though he has exclusive pieces on there, he does buy pieces from people's collections or their whole collections and then resells
Mhm.
them on there. So, um, but I do. And it on eBay, it for whatever reason, man. Sometimes you can Google specific artists, and they'll come up. Other times it's bootleg toys. Other times it's action figures, and you just kind of got to sift through the bullshit, right? For
Mhm.
whatever reason, dude, I always find Pamro toy stuff on there, and every time I find it,
Mm.
it's super cheap. And it seems like it's never from the same place. But I saw these on there, and all I did was these had been on there for a long time, and at first I wasn't sure what they were, or if they were from him or not, because I mean, the packaging is this. It's 4 figures, and they're all with that. No header card, no nothing, right? It said Pamro, so I just liked it. And I don't even know how long ago that was, man. It was a long time ago. And then I got an offer from the seller recently. And dude, so what's really weird is, first of all, these came from Hawaii, and it was like $20 or $25 free shipping for four figures total, right? So what I got is, it looks like something that Pamro would do. I need to take pictures of them and send them to him. But they're basically creatures with like, it's like a creature head and a Bossk body, all static.
Huh.
Yeah. So that one glows. This kind of teal one, which, you know what I mean, man? Like the colors look like something that he would use. I
Yeah.
don't have any other really static figures from him unless it's something that he sculpted. I do have some of those, but looking over there, dude, everything that I have from him, I probably have 50 to 60 figures from Pamro, and not one of them is non-articulated besides these.
Mm-hmm.
So like I said, if it is from him, they're a little rough on the feet,
Yeah.
which, you know, he doesn't do that anymore. And I think that maybe they're just kind of older pieces. So that'll be something interesting to kind of follow up on and see if they're actually from him.
Do you have a Pamro Swamp Thing?
Do I have a Pamro Swamp Thing?
Yeah. Because that's one of those I think came out right when I started getting into the scene in like 2020, maybe a little earlier than that, maybe right like, and they're awesome. I fucking love them, and never got one. And I think I even had an opportunity to, and I passed on it just because I didn't know much about like getting toys or whatever. And yeah, those are now a grail for me. Like I need to get one of those some
I
way
don't
somehow.
have one, dude. I don't have one. I'd probably have to scroll back to even remember
Mm-hmm.
what those are, dude. Because I'm not thinking about it off the top of my head. I can't think of it.
I have it saved in mine. I'll send you I've got it saved in my Instagram. I'll send you the post so you can see them. They're so good.
Yeah, dude. All his work is. If you guys haven't bought anything from Pamro Toys, I'm sure the majority of people in here have. But dude, coming from the Czech Republic, I mean, everything is like anywhere from 22 to like low 30s shipped.
Mm-hmm.
And that's, you know, I don't know what kind of postal system they have over there, dude, but that's insanely good as far as pricing goes, I think. Just from buying stuff from overseas, it seems like it's at least 15 and up. You know, and maybe it is, and he's selling the figures for like $2. I don't know. I doubt that's the case, but also no pressure pot from that guy, dude. As much work as that guy has pumped out, I know a few people out there that have a really large Pamro collection, and he never used a pressure pot from what I know. So
yeah,
super good dude. What else we got, man? What else we got? How about this one, dude? This one was cool. This was from Robot Resurrection. That was Yuckamuk's piece.
Oh, nice. You got one of those.
Yeah.
Ooh.
The little Saint Droid. I don't know if there was a name for that, but look at this, is really cool, dude. He put a little thing of velvet on the bottom there.
That's a nice touch.
It's classy. It is super classy.
Yeah, and then you can see it. Like you set it down at that little ring of red right at the bottom.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, very cool. He's actually going to be on the show at the very end of the month, man. And he sent some giveaways. He's done that figure in a couple different ways now. He did a Vader, he did a Yoda. He's done that one, and I think there might be a couple more of them. But I think he did a post the other day where he was selling them for like $15 a piece, or something like that. But he started adding that little vinyl piece. The Yuck chest pieces, very cool. It's got the velvet because it's a chest piece. Probably, you're right, dude. I probably missed that. That would make total sense. And but yeah, those are cool, man. Like I said, he'll be on. I think it's on like the 29th or something like that. But we're gonna do the same thing, just kind of sit and chill, see what's up.
Nice.
That
What a
one,
good
yeah,
dude. Also
yeah.
gives good book recommendations. So if you need a good book
Mm.
to read, maybe look to Yuck.
Dude, I said it a long time ago when he started doing his card back series that he's doing. That's still, I feel like that's still kind of going on, dude. He made a post
Hmm.
a while back saying that, just the posting of the figures uh, and that stuff was going to come to an end, which it has and which it hasn't, dude. I think honestly, what he's done now is putting the close-up picture of their face and then with the
Hmm.
quote underneath it. I think is a good combination of the two of what he was doing.
Yeah.
Because I think that same type of message you can see on his card back series that he's doing now. It's typically around an event or a story or something like that, and it relates to that, or a
Hmm.
book, like you said. But yeah, dude, you can tell that dude reads a lot, man.
And shout out on the project because that's been going a long time now,
It really
and
has.
still keeping up with it. And I think I don't know, we all struggle with doing stuff. I mean, how many shows have you done now? Like crazy weirdos, and just the dedication to get it done.
Yeah.
Yeah, amazing.
It is, dude, and it's um, you know, I don't know if he had any idea of how long that series was going to be when he first started it, but
Hmm.
the other thing that's cool about it, dude, it's very consistent.
Hmm.
And I bought a few of those pieces. I think those pieces are kind of like name your price type things.
Hmm.
Uh, but they're all very interesting, dude. I've bought a couple of them um, because I like the story behind them, and it's not really about the piece. And there's other ones that I bought because I think the card work on it is really good. Um, but yeah, dude, Yuck's one of those dudes, man, where you just see like going from like collector and kind of showing off what he has and then making smaller pieces. Then it seemed like the scale got a little bit bigger, and then he's in a show, and then and now it's kind of what it is now. So it's way different than what it started off being, but I think it's so much better too, man. It's got some really cool shit going on.
I joke to him that I feel like every other day because I've been looking a lot of visual books, photography, art, and I'm like, dude, like, there's like 500 things I saw today that I want to send to you to make really cool figures of. It's hard to not because he does such a great job with it that yeah, you could send him anything and he'd make something good and put it in that context and it would work.
Yeah, yeah, straight up, man. I agree. The next one that I got is from Space Punk.
Oh, Basepunk was one of my. I got met him at AR and he came out with us for ramen one night. Just a super good dude.
Yeah.
Man, yeah, I had a really great time hanging out with him.
Yeah, dude, and I love his work, man. I have a nice little space punk collection going on right now. This is one that he had posted recently. I don't know how many of these there were. That might have been a one-off. Oh, um, but so good, dude. 3.75 scale, and I love his style, man. It's just like even his posts and stuff. Everything's like
Hmm.
really clean and consistent. It also comes with the sword there.
Nice. That's a good looking sword.
Yeah, it sure is. Super cool. Um, but yeah, dude, Space Punk Toys on that, and he is from Asheville, I believe, right?
Uh, the surrounding area, I think. Yeah,
Surrounding area.
yeah.
Yeah, good one though, man.
Also in a band whose name I can't remember off the top of my head, but check them out too.
Nice, very cool. Yeah, he's there. The portfolio isn't all that big right now, but the pieces that I do have from him, man, I have probably 6 or 7 pieces now, and they're all super super clean.
Hmm.
He does have stuff available on his website right now too. If you guys are looking for something like that.
And
But
if I remember, ridiculously good prices.
do $30, stuff like that. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? Which is, I mean, I think that's a great price, dude. You know what I mean? I do think there's a point where 3.75 scale where you kind of start looking at it like, I don't know. You know what I mean? But what is that range? Who knows, dude? Because Healy's
Hmm.
stuff these right here, they go for 70. You know what I
Hmm.
mean? And there's other ones that go for 40. and then you find other ones on the secondary market where people either don't give a shit or don't know what they have, and you get it for way less than that, which has happened to me plenty of times, dude, which is one of the reasons I do it. Because a lot of stuff that I found, man, even stuff recently, there was a bunch of stuff that some toy store had, and you can tell by the way it was priced. I'm like, they probably don't know what they have if it's that cheap. You know what I mean? I got, let me grab it real quick. I got, so this mech assassin right here, right? That's a Healy one. I just did a post on this yesterday. Well, I put it with another figure, but I've done.
Oh yeah, it was all black. Yeah.
Yeah. The mech assassin. So this one, it was online, and I thought, wow, it was like $40. I'm like, that is cheap because it's old, and I know the run was small, and so I get it, and it's still in the original packaging. And not only that, it's the artist proof.
Shit, dude.
Yeah, right. So I'm like, man. So as always, I screenshot everything. I send it to Dave, and I'm just like, hey, man, is this legit? Is this, this is cool?
Mm-hmm.
And he's looking at that, and he goes, yeah. He goes, that's it. And so I'm like, all right, man. Well, I don't know what these people are doing with this thing, but it's only like $40, dude. So I bought it. And man, it kind of makes me wonder what happened to the guy that I gave that to, or that had bought it from him.
Yeah.
Which is interesting, man. I think that probably when you're on, if you make something, like if you saw one of your pieces pop up online and it was from somebody that you don't know, you probably wonder how they get that,
Actually, that happened. And Yuck is the guy with the piece. He got a piece, and I don't think I really knew him at that point. And
Yeah.
Crumbs, I think he posted it. I can't remember. And Crumbs had commented like, "That's a rare find right there." Like, and it was one of the early Wasteland Warrior pieces. Yeah, lucky find out there.
Was that the one that was bought on? So, gosh, dude, I can't remember what his name is now, but Slug Toys.
Yes, yeah. Slug Toys had, I think he had a couple, and I don't know where the others went. One of them might have been a piece that one of my favorite pieces I ever made, and I actually really regret to this day giving it away. Are you talking about the yellow one? Is it the yellow one with the pink?
Yes.
Yeah, like no head, just the body, but the colors on that and the like. I missed that one so much. If any of you bought it, let me know. We'll talk.
Isn't that funny, dude? I remember seeing that, and like, because he's got commercial stuff mixed in there, and it's funny, dude, when he puts the artist stuff in there or the indie toy stuff, he doesn't really tag the artist or say who it is. You just kind of got to know what it is. I've bought a bunch of Pendragon stuff, like open, just loose 3.75 figures, but Kachiki says he bought back one of his own toys on eBay one time.
That's amazing, dude.
Funny, dude. That's funny. But anyways, man, I don't even know what we were saying there. Anyways,
secondary market toys, whatever.
The what?
Who?
What was that? What was that?
Where?
You were reminding me what I was talking.
Wait, you were what? Talking about you?
Good. Now that that's clear.
So what else do you have?
Space Punk's band is called All Hell.
There we go. I knew Hell was in the title, but there's a lot of Hell bands. All Hell. There's good videos out there. If you're into some thrashy metal, it's good.
Yeah, band is All Hell. Cool Cat says hell yeah. So there you go. This next piece right here. Look at that one right there, doggy.
Oh, you got one of those porpoise pieces.
Yes, sir. Ooh, I did. Look
nice.
At that.
It is so crazy when you see this piece next to that album cover, or it was an album cover, right? Because it was Marauder's take on Battlestar Galactica. I don't remember, but when you see the art, the cover next to the piece, it's incredible how good he did on this.
Dude, I have some pieces from Porpoise that are just straight up museum quality, dude. And this is one of them. It is just like a phenomenal freaking It's so good, dude. He had the other one that was it was reverse, right? It was all this, and then the accessories, the hat and the bra area over here. This was all clear.
Mhm.
But I thought, I mean, the clear body though, man, I couldn't go wrong with that. Plus, in the UV, this thing is just going to look super, super crazy. Along with the base, that base is going to light up really good too. But that's kind of like the signature porpoise. I kind of referred to it in a post recently as a kind of like a 1960s psychedelic, like neon marble, I guess, you know. But goddamn, that is so good, dude.
Yeah.
Mm. The Porp. Georgia Moritor Battlestar Galactica. There you go.
There. Yep.
Yeah. But yeah, man, it's a beauty of a piece for sure.
Porpoise, you got to
Um,
do card. Porpoise, you need to do like at least a small run of carded figures with the album art. Man, it just looks so good next to each other because it's so perfect. Anyways,
it's so cool. It is like the work is all his stuff, man. I mean, and also 3.75 figures, dude. Let's not forget about those. But you know, there's just his stuff is just so good, dude. There's so many pieces involved. The paint, the articulation in some of them, dude. Like in the dinosaurs, you know, the jaws
hmm
of those are just so small and detailed.
I didn't
Um,
bring it up, but I finally grabbed one of his General Porpoise pieces, like the sculpted porpoise with and that piece is so good. I love that he's got his logo as a piece. It's fucking fantastic, dude.
so good, dude. So good. And you know what, man? You know where I was looking at one of those was at the what's the spot in Australia?
This is not a toy store.
It's not a toy store. They have they have that piece there, which I think what started off in a show. Maybe that was the carded show that they did.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Because I think he did. Is he in the chat? I think he did the Adventure People style card
yes,
for it.
exactly. Yes. Yep. Exactly. Yeah, yeah, you're right, dude. That's a killer piece, man. General Porpoise, the whole General Porpoise Donuts thing is great. Or was it General Donuts Coffee or General
I
Porpoise
think
Donut?
it's a. I think it's a donut shop.
It's
Is what.
donuts, right? It is. Yeah. So I don't know if anybody knows that, but if you know Porpoise, dude, there's and I believe, are they in Oregon or
I
Washington, something like that?
they are northwest, if I remember correctly. I
Okay,
don't
yeah.
remember which
So
one, but
there's a donut shop, General Porpoise Donuts, and through the tagging on Instagram, uh, General Porpoise's stuff gets tagged all the time, and vice versa. So there's just kind of an ongoing thing. I'm sure he probably still gets it, dude. As long as that place
mhm.
is up, I'm sure it's still going to happen. But kind of funny for something random like General Porpoise to come up more than once. Man, we got some shows coming up, dude. I'm going to try and O'Keefe says it's in Seattle.
There you go.
O'Keefe, why don't you walk over there and get this thing figured out for everybody? How about that? We'll put you
And
on to
send me a donut. More importantly, just send me a donut.
something. More importantly, I'm gonna see if I can share my screen, man, and we're gonna take a look at an upcoming show. Are you doing the? Let's see if I can do this here. Are you doing the share screen? The Zartan show. Are you doing that one?
I am.
What you making?
It's a surprise. It's going to be free. So
It's
get
gonna
ready.
be free.
It's going to be free. I'm very excited about this. So
Okay, cool. So I think if he's available, man, we're gonna try to get Death and Strawberries on here to to let us know all about Zartan. He is the GI Joe resident expert, I would say. So GI Show 2025. Lots of people in this one, man. We know pretty much. There's some other ones that I did not. I don't recognize, man. But there goes Space Punk.
Yeah, Space Punk. I was just looking to see if you're there.
Yeah, Recycle the Galaxy. Very cool, man.
Frankenlander.
Was he in here?
He's right under Epoxy Crusader.
Very nice.
Basement Sludge. I still need to buy a piece from you.
Kiers, King Spider, Kajiki, Massive Mini Horse. Man, there's a lot, dude. Omnirez, Aura. I'm not familiar with Aura. Sycamil. Man, dude. I was looking at Sycamil's site the other day.
I'm pretty excited to see how people play with this idea and the stuff that comes out. I think it's a fun way to go out for the GI Joe show.
I think this is a great name for a new account. Super Terrible Vomiting Droids. Look at that, dude. It was meant to be.
Super Terrible. We're gonna have a conversation now.
Yeah, Super Terrible Vomiting Droids. Yeah, this is very cool. I just noticed this, man. He's got the all the info right here, pretty much. This is coming up next week, 7 p.m. Eastern, so 4 p.m. Here on the West Coast. People will be posting an IG Live with Cave Dweller and Kajiki at 8 p.m. Eastern, and then we'll do a Toys Alive recap at 6 p.m.
So I posted my joke the other day where it was just a bunch of text at the bottom. It was just making fun of the Zartan name, and I was like, it's not even a real name. You might as well call him Tylenol or Zaymot. And then I realized, and someone can steal this because I'm not going to do it, but I love the way some names just sound like medication. So like there's a game you could make of, is this a medication or is this a toy? Zartan, Tomax. The Tomax, that sounds like some fucking diet medication you're taking right now. Zaymot, I'm taking Zaymot for my allergies. I'm going to take some Zaymot.
I believe it.
One of my favorites is there is an actual medication called Icentris, which sounds to me like a Dungeons and Dragons, sorceress. I don't know. So someone please just make a pill bottle that says Zartan on it. I don't know. It makes me laugh. That's all.
Perfect. Dude, can you believe that we've actually been on for an hour and 18 minutes already?
Yeah, it feels like a lifetime.
There's a Seinfeld bit, not a bit, but on a show where, do you remember the episode where Kramer set up the old Merv Griffin set? He finds it in the dumpster and he sets it up in his apartment. So his apartment looks like the old school Merv Griffin set. And he's sitting there and he's cracking jokes and shit. And he's just kind of being a cornball and he's talking to fucking Newman. Newman's a sidekick. And he goes, I think they were talking about, I think it was Albuquerque, New Mexico, or Phoenix, Arizona, something like that. I think he goes, Phoenix. Yeah. He goes, I spent a week there one night.
Oh, real quick. People in the chat, you're not helping me. Can I get an Oilers score update? I know that game has started. Someone in the chat, please Google the Oilers score for me.
Oilers score. Oh, what's the score of the Oilers game? Hockey. They had to specify hockey. I think he's watching the Warriors game right now.
Oh, man. I don't know which sports websites you read. I sometimes look at The Ringer because I think it's a fun website. And I just realized this week how little they care about hockey. It is playoff season. We are deep in playoff season. Not a single thread of NHL in there. Like at the top of the website, there's a banner that just says everything. So you could click on like, oh, I want NBA. I want pop culture. I want film. I want movies. Everything except NHL. So
O'Keefe says down 0-1. Pickman's also clocking in with 0-1.
All right, you guys, that's not good, but it's fine. It's still early.
Oh, they're playing Vegas.
Mm-hmm.
Nice. Okay. Right on.
Thank you. Appreciate
I worked for built that stadium out there in Las Vegas for the Knights.
Are you guys doing the new A's stadium?
How dare you?
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. The words came out before I really thought about it. They're just going to stay in Sacramento forever. It'll be fine. You'll be fine.
I really wish, dude. And that whole thing is just such a clusterfuck, if I'm being honest, dude. It's mind bending what's going on right now. But that being said, yes, we're bidding on it for sure. I don't know if it's been awarded yet, but it's, to build a stadium from the ground up, you're looking at least a 2-year process right now. We
Are you
got
going to go to any games at the? Are they playing at the River Cats
They're
Stadium?
playing at the River Cats. Yeah, we went a couple weeks ago on a Sunday, and they won on a walk off in the 10th, which was great.
Oh,
We
nice.
did get a little rain that day, which was super odd for up here, especially. But there was no delay or anything. But it was cool, man. It's if you wait till game time, you can get really good seats for really cheap, and that's what we were looking
Mhm.
for, dude. That's been the big deterrent.
I
Is
mean, it's a minor league stadium. How big is it? Like my closest minor league stadiums are not big at all. I mean,
Yeah, 14K,
okay.
14,000, one lower level,
Mhm.
rows 1 through 30, all the way around. And then an outfield lawn area where you can get discount
Nice.
tickets. And just for perspective, dude, they, at the beginning of the year, they thought that these things were going to be selling out, was going to be the hottest ticket in Northern California. And so when you went to buy season tickets, they were outrageous, dude. I'm talking, and I shit you not, dude. Lowest that I could find, one seat for the entire year, 82 games, $15,000.
No,
That's the cheapest. That's the
that's
cheapest, dude.
insane.
15K. So that was
Oh
off
man.
the table right away, right?
Mhm.
And now, since they're not drawing, since they're not selling out, you can really get tickets for cheap, dude. I got an email from the A's the other day. You can get those same lawn tickets 2 for 20. So there you go.
Well,
And those are not selling out. So how about that?
and that you can go watch them on a lawn. I mean, I don't know if there's any major league stadiums with lawns. I feel like there aren't, but like the lawn is one of the best parts of minor league. Like just hanging out in the field, kids running around, whatever.
It is. Yeah. No, I agree. It's a great stadium, dude. And looking back at it, besides the nostalgia of the Oakland Coliseum, because I've been going there since I was a kid. Besides that, I mean, the not only is the Rivercat Stadium closer, it's just about 30 minutes from me, and you're kind of going
Mhm,
against like both ways, which is great. Cheaper parking. I
mhm.
think it's a better venue altogether. It is odd seeing a major league game in a minor league stadium like that. It's odd, but it's super fucking cool, dude. Every seat is a
Nice.
good seat. The tickets that we got, man, like the face value on them at the box office were like 129. Dude, I paid
Mhm.
$30 a piece, you know?
Well, and the vibes feel like they do here. They do a Sox game out in Iowa at the field, the Field of Dreams field, right? And I think I like seeing the A's in a minor league field has the same vibe to me. Like it's so it's so intimate, it's so tiny. I don't know. Yeah, I'm actually like it sucks for you that this is happening, but also kind of cool that you get to see them play in that setting.
Yeah, for 3 years, for 3 years,
Mhm.
and then they're gone forever and
Yeah.
ever and ever. Let's check this out, dude. What did you think of the giveaway question this week?
What was the giveaway question? I missed it. Again, it's been a shitty week of work, dude.
Time out, time out. What kind of co-host are you tonight? Okay, you didn't watch the show last week. You have no idea what the fucking giveaway question is.
Listen,
Don't
Benjamin. I
run me.
love coming on this show with you. You're a great dude. You and what's his name, Chris? You and Benjamin and Chris is one of the top shows on the internet. Watching you guys talk about GI Joe figures and He-Man and collectibles like that is amazing to me. I'm just happy to
Collectibles
be.
like that. Collectibles.
Oh shit.
The question of the week was, what's your biggest challenge in the scene right now? There was some really good answers, but I think, um, you know, gosh, dude, there was so many. I think the majority of people said, um, I got you, Worsville, and you were the last one in. He's going to be number 29. Um, time
Mhm.
was probably the number one. Uh, there was some stuff in there about marketing and kind of promoting yourself and stuff like that. What about for you, dude? What's the biggest challenge that you have right now as far as toys go?
I mean, time's a big one.
Yeah.
But time in the sense of not just time to make things, time I'm becoming more open to the idea of collaborating, which I'm not really. I'm too much of a control freak. I'm trying to figure it out.
Yeah.
But trying to find, okay, well, I want to do these things. I would like to collaborate with some people, but how do I also find time for like the 5 million ideas in my head that are just sitting there, and also then do something with someone else? I don't know. Yeah, time's a big one. Figuring out ways to collaborate with people. I think I've really gotten to a point of just saying I'm okay with doing what I do and not, like, I can't do Instagram posts every day. Like, it would be nice to have the amount of stuff or do that. I think I've just kind of settled to a point of, you know what? I'm not going to try and fight the algorithm. I'm not going to try and beat the algorithm. I'm just going to post and hope people see my stuff. So I think promotion and marketing, I'm kind of stepping back and just saying, I can't do anything there. I'm just going to make cool stuff and hope people see it. And I think, yeah. Um, but yeah, time is a huge one.
Time's a huge one, dude. Let's kind of touch on a little bit of other of these because there's some really good ones, dude. Neckrath had a really good one, man. He said, and this is something that we've talked about before. The biggest challenge in the indie toy scene is lack of awareness. Most people have no idea this culture exists. They don't know what indie toys are, what toy artists do, or how much creativity is involved. When I bring it up, I often need to explain everything from scratch. This gap in understanding makes it harder for the scene to gain recognition and support. I agree with that 100%, dude. And I think that once you start to explain it to somebody, they're going to go one of two ways. They're going to get really interested and go, wow, that is something, you know what I mean? And they're going to kind of connect the dots. Other people are just going to say, man, that is too much. And you've cheapened it by trying to explain it now. And I've seen both, dude. You know what I mean? And you can kind of get a good sense of that when you're at places like Decon or something like that. I mean, you do have people buying, but you also have a lot of people that are just asking questions and then moving on, or like, hell, hey, who made these? And you name somebody, and they're like, I've never heard of that guy. It's not Kenner or Mattel, so I'm going to find those, or a Pop or something like that, right? Yeah, Ashley says that I feel like it's also not super mainstream. You're right, dude. I think that it's it's a, I don't want to say a limited market. I think it's just kind of a niche thing. And how many people are really into it, doing it every day? I don't know, man. I really don't. It's, when you see people's accounts and stuff like that and how many people are following them and kind of the engagement, it's hard, man. It's like you think that people are like, wow, they have a lot of followers, must be doing really good. And then the next thing you know, we're talking about not being recognized and marketing and stuff like that, and how do you get those people to kind of catch on? So what do you think about that, dude? Like, I mean, I'm sure when you what do you do when someone says, like, let's say it comes up naturally in a conversation where you're making, first of all, how do you describe what you do as far as indie toys go?
That's a great question. I'm still trying to figure it out. I think one thing that I've mentioned to a couple people is that this year I'm trying to change some of what I do. I kind of put it as I want to emphasize, like, I talk about toys, right? Like, we do toys. Everything, like, there's this nostalgia, there's this toy element, whatever. I'm trying to respect the art of my piece more. I'm trying to emphasize more the art side of it in a way. I don't know how to explain what that will mean, what that looks like, but I think in talking about it with people now, I don't want to lead off with, "Oh, I make toys." Like, I often joke, I make toys in my basement, right? Like, that's the funny haha thing. I
Yeah.
think now I want to be like, no, I make fucking art in my basement. I make art, and it's art based off, existing toys. It's bootleg resin art, designer toy making, whatever combination of words you want to use. I think it's just owning that for myself and being like, I fucking make art. I think trying to strike that balance between, it's also, you know, they're fun, they're great. There is those vibes, striking that right balance between, yes, they're toys, yes, they're art, and connecting that somehow. I also wonder too, like, I don't know how many people try to get things in gallery shows. I know that's hard. I know galleries are snooty at times, whatever. But like, there was that. Did anyone see the stuff from? Um, I just recently started following the Corey Helford Gallery in LA. They did some kind of Mattel show, and it was just all like inspired by Mattel toys and different stuff. And it was all just 2D. It was all just paintings for the most part. I think maybe there were some sculptures in there, but like, are there ways we can edge ourselves into your local galleries somehow and try and get some stuff that way? I don't fucking know. Um, I I think too much about this shit. I live in my head about this shit. I also think about how I feel like I'm seeing so many more people making stuff or trying to make stuff, and I hope they all stick with it and keep creating and growing as artists. And some of them will disappear, but as a community, we seem to be growing, right? Like, and and I think we also talk about how sometimes it's a very insular community, and
Mm.
so I don't even know where I'm going with this. But what can we do as a community? What does the community want? Everybody in the community is different in what they want out of it. Some people don't give a fuck about the art; they just want to make funny shit. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's I'm just spouting words.
No,
It's
no, I
hard.
get it, man. I mean, I think everything that you said is all part of it, right? Like, there's some of it, like you said, dude, is kind of takes on social events, or mainstream characters, or people that are in the news, athletes, movie stars, movies in general. Um, and I don't know, dude. When you say what's your typical reaction that you get from people? First of all, do you ever bring up that it's toys, or do you try to stick to like, hey, this is indie art, or this is art?
Mhm.
But Dove had a great comment, and he said, "This is art, and figures are the medium."
Yeah.
Which I totally agree with that, man. I mean, so if
Mhm.
we're talking about that, then do you bring up um, indie toys or toy art? Because I think that when toy art's a tough one, man, because I think you're really combining two opposite ends of the spectrum, at least mentally, when you say those two words, right? You're
Mhm.
saying toy over here, something you play with that you don't care,
Mhm.
gets dirty or in the mud, a kid's toy, right? Then you say art over here, and you're thinking gallery piece, something like typically a painting is, and maybe that's where it is, dude. Maybe it's trying to get people to expand on what art is. What you're
Mhm.
doing is art. What everybody in this room is doing is art. It's no different than what a painting is hanging on the wall, you
Yeah.
know? Um,
And that for me is like, I think, like, starting, within the past few months, as I've been thinking about what I'm doing, what my goals are, where I want to go, how I want to do it, there will be a fairly clean line between before, when I might meet someone, they're like, "Oh, what do you do in your spare time?" "Oh, I make some toys, whatever." And, "Oh, what do you do in your spare time?" "Oh, I'm an artist and I work on some pieces in my basement. This is what they kind of look like. It's informed by nostalgia." I mean, I love. I think it's a real. What is Healy's line on his Instagram? Like, do you know what I'm talking about? The dark
it's a
pieces from the.
dark. It's a. I believe it's a dark social commentary on the something like that.
Yeah, like, I think that's so good. It's like this beautiful statement that's also like kind of funny, sarcastic, but also can be taken real seriously. Like, I don't
Sure.
know. And I think starting to toe those lines of making it, this is serious shit. Like, I love that DK says this is art. Um, and I think you can do that. I think you can say this is art and it still be fun. I think
Yeah.
you can still do that. I think those two things, but I think it's also like what individuals want out of this, right? Because not everyone wants the same thing. There's people who really just want to make fun pieces, people who like to make um like a piece that is like current event pieces, right? I'm sure there's a ton of Pope pieces coming out right now by people who, their thing is making jokes, making pieces that are funny and make people laugh, right? Maybe
Sure.
those people don't want to be seen as artists. Maybe for them it's something different. Or maybe they do want to be seen as artists. That's their call to make. And so I think as individuals, it's up to you to make that call and how you're going to present it to the world. And then collectively, maybe you start identifying other people in the scene who have that same goal, who want to be like, yeah, let's make this, let's get this out there that this is art. And maybe you guys just start working together somehow. I don't know. Talk to me.
Yeah.
You know, Shoot me a DM and let's talk about how we be art. We are art. How do we tell the world we're art?
Exactly, man. And I think what really, just going back to what Neckrath said, man, I think where it gets a little bit crazy is when you have to feel like you have to justify what you're doing
Hmm.
as art. Cool Cat says that he always leads off with he's an artist, and then he leaves
Hmm.
it up to the person to decide. If they want to ask more questions, he just tries not to overload them with information. And I think that's one thing, dude. I think that's a good way to approach it. I think that if you get somebody who's not interested in the process, I think you can lose them really quick with like, kind of what you're doing and how you did it. But cool is cool, man. You know what I mean? And I think it's really kind of a good segue into Ashley's comment. Ashley, what she said on there was, let me see exactly what it was. Lack of constructive criticism from peers. I love how amazing this community is, but I think there is room for small groups to gather and critique each other's work, more like the encouragement and push that you get from those kind of mean teachers that you appreciate because they help you improve.
Preach,
Yeah,
bro.
dude. And that's, Crumbs and I have talked about that a lot, dude. And I think at the end of the day, dude, it comes down to two things. Number one, we don't really want to critique anybody's work in a negative way, because of like a couple of reasons, man. One of it is that it's so subjective, right? It is so subjective. Who's to say? You know what I mean? And then I think an easy, God, dude, and you can look at this two ways. You can look at it as like an easy out for the artist, or just a very good way of reasoning and them saying, look, it's not supposed to be perfect. You know what I mean? This is a art toy, and it could be in the process. Maybe it is your process that you're doing that doesn't look as clean as other ones. But like I said, the bottom line is that it's so subjective, dude. It's hard to tell somebody, hey, I think this could be better. But I think it's important, though. I still think it needs to be done. So how do you approach that and tell an artist, especially, from artist to artist, I think it's one thing. From consumer to artist, I think it's another thing. And it could be that, I honestly don't think it's my place to tell anybody how they made something. I know it happened one time, right? But besides that,
I mean, I think you and Crumbs both have previous experience with that. It's not just you. Like he was doing unboxings before and had some things happen, but also there was something that Crumbs did, and I'm not going to go into detail about it. I don't know if it's even still out there. He did a video once, and I think he got a lot of crap for it, but it was one of the most important videos that I ever saw in like making me think about my presentation and what I'm putting out and how I want people to see my stuff. And I think I do feel like you like trying to find the right. I really want to be criticized. Like I want people to tell me like this is shit, or I really like this, but what if you push this? Um, I want feedback because I want to be a better artist. I want to be a better creator, and I don't. It's the love is great, like putting up a piece and everyone's like, "Hey, this is amazing. This is so great. This is so cool." Man, I really also want a couple people to just shoot me a DM and say, "Hey, dude, I like this, but like I have a couple ideas like to maybe push it further." And you know what? That's also hard as an artist because you don't want to be offended. You want your stuff to be perfect. You got to be open to accepting that criticism. You got to be, stuff you do, we can always grow. Like, I'm sorry, man, you are not at the top ever. There's always further to push your work, greater things to do, new ways to move it, and you just got to be open to someone saying, offering something, and you don't have to listen, right? You can ignore whatever they say, but think about what they say. Let that percolate in your brain, and maybe something good comes of it. I think criticism is really important, and I think, but it's hard to do it because I also feel like we're such a close community and we all want to be very supportive of each other. And again, people want different things out of it. Like I want criticism, someone else might be very happy with what they're doing. They just want to put it out there and keep putting it out there and they're good. So it's striking that balance. Everything is striking a balance, right? There's no hard line on it.
yeah, exactly, dude. And that's where it gets hard, dude. I mean, you definitely don't want to hurt anybody's feelings, of course. But then again, I think what also is really important is how you receive that criticism, like you said.
Yeah.
Dude, I'm a big believer in like not slamming anybody's shit.
Hmm.
Just because of the nature of what this is, right? Like, I'm not going to buy anything off the shelf. Everybody or most people put something on their website that says, hey, look, this is probably has some imperfections in it somewhere down the line. I completely understand that. Fletch said that he loves the Flash, and that's part of it too, man. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I think that some stuff that I have, to me, it looks so bootleggy that I love that about it, dude. Other
Mm-hmm.
stuff, I love it because it's so super clean. And I
But I
think,
also think then, just real quick, like I think with that though, is as a creator and as someone putting out there, you have to be honest about what you're putting out there. Like don't hide it with filters, don't whatever. Like if you've
yeah,
got something with Flash, if you've got something that's rough, be honest. Like this is how this is. This is the art I make. And
yeah,
people will love it. Like if that's your style. I mean, you're talking
yeah,
to somebody who I love dipping. I mean, hold on. Like I'm doing this shit. Like I'm just sitting here dumping resin on fucking figures. Like, I like it. I like to do it. Will other people like it? I don't know, but that's what I do. But I'm
yeah,
also honest about what it is and what I'm doing. Like I'm spinning it around. I'm just putting resin on. And I think it's okay to do those things as long as you're honest about what you're putting out there and you own it.
yeah,
And I think I think people I think a lot about so at work, like I sometimes have students that I'm working with, right? And I think a lot about with those students, like if they're doing something wrong, I don't want to put them down. I want to educate them. I want to teach them how can I do that in a positive way so they don't walk away thinking, "Oh man, I fucked up." They walk away thinking, "Oh, okay, I know what to do next time," right? And
yeah,
that's like there's ways to criticize things, but there's also ways to listen to that criticism and not have a thin skin about it and be offended by it. And yeah,
yeah,
we just got to listen to each other better and just be better about communicating.
yeah. Straight up, skilled one, right on. What's up, dude? Goodbye, dude. Um, yeah, agree, dude. Because I think part of the problem here too is right, and I think it's kind of something that, as collectors, uh, or a collector only and not being an artist, right? Like ideally, you as an artist would like to break outside that kind of circle of artists that are buying your stuff and maybe have some try to pull people in from the outside. Some people want that, some people don't. I think for any
Hmm.
type of growth or long life, that being said, like I think that makes it even more important when you're talking artist to artist and how you receive that information of like, hey, maybe this have you ever tried this?
Hmm.
Um, it's a fine line, dude. I think one thing that I truly believe though, dude, is like if everything is great, nothing is great. You know what I
Hmm.
mean? It can't all be great, dude. There's absolutely some great shit, and we see great shit every day. We see stuff that's not great every day. You know what I mean? But we can't just be blown away every time by everything's,
Hmm.
and sometimes it misses the mark, dude, and maybe we don't talk about it as much, or maybe it's a piece in a show that's not quite finished and that's obviously not finished, or it was kind of rushed through, or something like that. But on the other end, dude, you don't really want to ruin the mood either, in
Hmm.
something like that, and kind of keep the real vibe going and the positivity. But I think there's also positivity in criticism, dude, for
Yeah.
sure. You know what I mean? I don't think anybody is wants to hurt anybody's feelings or come off negative as
Hmm.
any way. I think that anything being said negative is done in a way that it's it's just not meant to be, destructive in any
Yeah.
way.
I mean,
Uh,
if like I don't own a Pamro piece, you do, and like you said, he doesn't use a pressure pot. I mean, that's somebody could get a piece and be like, "Yo, dude, this is like bubbly and shit. Like, what am I paying for here?" And Pamro's like, "That's my style, man. Like, I'm sorry, it's not
right.
for you." But how do you communicate that and be good about that as a maker and a seller? Like making sure, I mean, I would, I've oh God, I've been doing this for 5 years now. Is that fucking right? My God, I'm fucking
Yeah.
old, man. Um, but like I would like every time I send a piece out, like I'm terrified someone's gonna hate it, and they always come back and say they love it. But I also want to know the things they don't love about it, so that like next time I can think about that, because it's a process, it's a learning process. How I do things now is so different from how I did them before, and a lot I figured out on my own. Some things people told me, but yeah,
Yeah.
I don't know.
Um, For sure, man. Ashley says probably not the place for it. 100% agree. It's that's like I said, that's just not something that we do. We just like to report the news and then
Hmm.
actually just try to get it out there no matter what it is. Good, bad. It's not really our call. Um,
I would
but
just ask that I would just ask that like, we all talk to each other, right? Behind the scenes, like we DM, we shoot pics of our stuff and in process. And maybe we can all be better about being honest with our opinions and not just saying, "Hey, that's fucking great." Maybe every now and then say, "Hey, that's fucking great, but this." hey, that's really cool, but this, you know, and I don't know.
Yeah. Um, you're right. You're right, dude. And maybe some people are already doing that, and that's great.
Hmm.
And I'm not saying that like people have to do that, but I think for some growth, dude, I think it would really help with some input from your peers. I think that's probably a little bit more well received than someone if you get some random person who buys something from you, right? And they get in, they complain about it. It's like
Hmm.
my first reaction would be like, I don't know who you are. Do you even know what the fuck this is? You know what I mean? Like, do you even know like what you know what's going on here, man? Like, are you a collector? Are you just you like
Hmm.
Ewoks or you're a Star Wars fan? Like, what's going on, man? Because it's getting to the point where it's kind of common knowledge that you may get something that's got a flaw in it, dude. That's just the way it is. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
And just like Fletch said, maybe that's part of the getup, dude. Maybe that's some of the Mexican bootleg stuff that I have. I bought some of those little sets off of Yo-Yo Dine when he went there. He came back with these He-Man and Skeletor like combo packs, just like rack packs. So fucking cool, dude. And they are, from a standpoint like that, they're horrible, dude. Like the paint's falling off. They're just, the arms. I'm looking at them right now. One of the arms is off in the bag, but it's like that is what that aesthetic is, and that's what I
Hmm.
want. Um, so it's weird, man. It's all over the map. Like that's like crazy shitty good. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
sometimes that's what it's all about. But
Yeah.
it's hard, man. It's but like you said, dude, it's a community nonetheless.
Hmm.
Uh, just ripping on a piece. Yeah, Eric, that's a good point, man. So there's a difference between being genuine and criticism. Bootleg overdose. Sometimes people are mean. Yeah, Eddie, why don't you look in the mirror and say that 5 times? Okay, you're mean, buddy. I'm sick of it. Let's do this, dude. Let's take a look at. You know what? Let's go. I saw there was another one that I wanted to look at real quick. Ba, 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 ba. A lot of people said promoting themselves, which is God, dude. We've talked about that a lot on here as far as one of the questions that I wanted to ask, but I have this conspiracy theory that IG is going to like block it from everybody seeing it. But like, what are people using besides Instagram to get things going, or is it just an Instagram thing? I know like Plastic Vomit Customs do. They have a very big presence on Facebook before they even came to Instagram, and it's probably even bigger now. But for you, man, are you using anything else besides Instagram, or is it just straight IG for you?
Just straight IG. I don't have time to manage anything out, and at the production levels I do, like IG works for me. It sucks. It's
Yeah,
like the the feed sucks. Like I tried to go back and look through pieces from the last week, and I think it got to day 5 on like the accounts you follow when you switch to that filter, and it was like there's
yeah,
nothing else from the past 30 days, and I'm like, you fucking liar. There's a ton of shit from the past 30 days,
yeah.
but it's all I have, and it works for me. I do think a lot about other ways we can all go out. I think, what's the one that I don't know. I know Pocket was getting into something that Abe was putting out. Toys on Tap. What was he doing? He was pushing something for a while, and I don't know if it took off.
Um,
Do you know what I'm talking about? I don't know. I can't remember it. If anyone remembers, feel free.
yeah, I know.
Um, I also think a lot about like not just promotion, but as a community and communicating. Like I hear a lot about people complaints about IG, so it's not just about promotion; it's about like other ways we can communicate. But I don't, at my size, I think there's nothing else I would do at this point. It works.
Yeah. A couple other ones. I'm just seeing Dirty Yeti and Gray Skull Toys have similar answers. Challenge staying on task. I want to work on resin when I'm not home and want to do everything else, but work when I'm home. Not sure what's wrong with me. Um, Dirty Yeti says biggest challenges I've been currently going through is burnout and motivation.
Hmm.
Um, I think that's probably a big one too, man, just to kind of keep things going. I'm sure you've probably experienced something similar where you're just not into it. I go through that a lot, even with the show, dude. And I'm sure Crumbs does too. But there's weeks
Hmm.
where you're really super into it, and then maybe other weeks where you're not, and then some weeks where it starts to feel like an obligation at points, and that's where it
Mhm.
kind of starts to lose its luster a little bit. But I
Who
mean,
said
even
the Who said the thing about think about it all day and then not do it at night? Who said that one?
think
You just
about it
read it
all
off.
day, do it at night. I don't know.
One of the comments you said just allude like that's something for me. Like all day at work, I'm like putting notes in my notebook. On the train
Oh yeah,
home, I'm taking notes, like, and
great
just
stuff.
ideas. Yeah, and
Yeah,
ideas are flowing out. And then as soon as I get home, but that's just, I mean, that's just life because you got to do the shit all
yeah,
day. Um, and so how do you keep that fire going at night to be able to do it? Sometimes you got to catch a break, but yeah, that's a hard one. I live with
that's a
that one.
tough one, man. Time management is another one that people are talking about. Cost of resin, budgets, stuff like that, dude. So all stuff that has to be overcome. But and probably some of that stuff you don't really find out until you kind of jump into it and start doing it.
Hmm.
But that being said, there's lots of people that are doing it. I think you're right, dude, when you said that there's still people. It feels like things are going good. I mean, as far as
Hmm.
growth goes, I don't know. I'd probably have to see some numbers on that. I don't know how you'd even gather that data, honestly, but um, it feels like we see new people all the time. You
Hmm.
know, I know that Crumbs and I follow new accounts on the show and sees stuff pops up all the time, dude. We've had a pretty good run of new followers just this week for whatever reason, no idea, but we just do our regular thing. But it's all people that have really low accounts. You can tell they're just kind of starting out, or maybe just kind of firing back up again. Um, but that is good to see, dude, and people that are really kind of getting into it. Super Terrible Toys had a comment about just casting and molding and stuff like that. And I think as frustrating as that is, I think what's very cool is that they will absolutely figure that out. And you can tell
Hmm.
that it's just early on in the process right now. I'm sure you went through that. I'm sure everybody who makes
Hmm.
resin figures probably did that. I know Hurt went through that when he first started off. There was some stuff where it was just maddening,
Hmm.
and couldn't figure it out. And just through repetition and kind of experimenting on your own, here we are. So I don't think that's going to be a problem for Super Terrible at all. But it's just, it's interesting, man. You can kind of look through those comments and see sometimes people's different stages and kind of where they're at by what their comments are. So yeah, that's that.
I don't know why, but it's making me think about like I think an interesting one to think about is am I where I think I should be? Does that make sense? Like, I've been doing this 5 years. I feel like I've grown as an artist. Am I growing enough? Am I trying enough? Am I pushing enough? I don't know.
Yeah. Um, what's crazy is, bro, is there's no right answer.
Yeah, there isn't.
There really isn't, man. There's no right answer. It's I think you got to figure it out no matter what your role is in the scene. Um, and that's part of the fun of it, I think, is that it's
Hmm.
so unknown, right? It's like
Hmm.
it's kind of an unexplored thing. We're not playing sports. We don't have numbers to shoot for or goals to hit or records to break. There's nothing like that, man. It's
Yeah.
just about kind of continuing on, definitely getting better as a show, getting better as an artist. But I think the longevity is probably one of the most important things to make sure that it doesn't die out and that people are always doing it. And honestly, dude, my honest opinion is I think the scene is bigger than we think it is.
Hmm.
Um, I don't know. I have no way to prove that. It's just from other artists that I've talked to and knowing the number of people that are involved that are not involved. You know what I mean? They don't
Hmm.
comment. They don't comment on the show. They may not be posting a lot, but they see everything. You know what I
Hmm.
mean? And they know that people at toy companies know stuff. And then it's hard to see stuff at like Super 7 and not make a connection of like, okay, these guys obviously saw something. You know what I
Hmm.
mean? And now it's over here, which is cool, man. The shitty part is uh, does that really happen? We'll never know. I hope so. You know?
This is also something you said just jogging my brain a little bit too, and the idea of like um I hope that Pockets also. I'm going to talk about this, so you're just going to have to deal that I'm putting it out there in the world because you know, you're a cool guy. But he's doing a thing. I think it's at a local library. They're kind of doing like a community event, and he's just going to show up. And I don't think he's allowed to sell anything. I think some of the other guys in the area might go down with him too. And they're just going to have a table, have a bunch of molds, have a bunch of figures, and you just sit there and you're talking about your stuff. And so that's an opportunity, like things like that. If you want to progress the scene and progress what people think about, that's an opportunity that where you can talk about art in a place that's a little bit different, right? And maybe you're not going to talk to this, you know, you're not in a place where you're selling to like art buyers or whatever like that, but you're talking to people who maybe are like, holy shit, this stuff is art. Like, I am curious about this, and maybe they'll learn a little bit more. I don't know, something just jogged my brain about that. And I think that's a cool idea. And I think anybody, if you're interested, should do things like check out local events that aren't toy scenes, aren't galleries, because I don't know, putting yourself out there for an afternoon for free just to talk about your stuff, because we all love to talk about our stuff, is a fucking great idea.
Yeah, dude. Couple things on that, man. I agree 100%, dude. Is number one, I think when Rokomashu was on the show, he had a good comment about setting up at places that wouldn't necessarily sell toys. He had set up at a couple places where I think one of them was like at a barber shop or something like that. But and you don't know how many people are actually going to come in there and buy for toys. They're certainly probably not looking for toys, but like it or not, they're going to get this dose of indie toys, whether they like it or not. So I think that's probably another avenue, is maybe setting up booths where you have stuff, maybe not even have anything for sale, but you're just talking to people and letting them know that, hey, this stuff is out there and exists. Another good thing, dude, is out there in Australia at that This Is Not a Toy Store. I know that Titty Bean was a part of it for a while too, where he was doing workshops actually for action
Oh yeah,
and having people
yeah.
come in, dude. And you would think that initially when you advertise at a toy store and have people say, hey, you want to come in and make action figures, that the crowd may be a little bit younger. But I remember seeing pictures from those things, dude, and those are straight up adults in there, kit bashing figures, painting figures. And who knows if somebody started that way, but at least again, those people, I mean, you see it all the time, dude, where you can go to these pottery places and make pottery as a group or whatever like that. Why not make toys? That's a little bit taller of an order because you got to have the venue and the space for something like that. But it's cool to know that stuff like that is out there. And this is all circling back to what other avenues you're using besides Instagram. And I think those can all be good ones, dude, not only to promote yourself, but kind of to promote the scene as well. Because let's face it, dude, there's not, I think a lot of the audience that is going to make this scene grow as far as outside of artists buying other artists' stuff. How do you get people like that on Instagram, man? It's usually somebody, a friend showing you something. The randomness of coming across it in a thread, I think, is just fucking not there. I don't know. You may get something related because you look at a bunch of horror stuff, or you may have liked one of those bullshit AI dumb fuck figures. And so that thinks that you like figures now and shows you stuff that's kind of, off the cusp as far as action figures go. But it's hard, man. It's hard. Like the growth aspect, I think, even without even selling anything, and just from talking to so many people, even like yourself, dude, is that it's definitely not as popular as it should be. I do think it's bigger than what we think it is, but just from knowing, how many pieces are left over from AR and decon and stuff like that, and runs not selling out, where you look at it and you're like, oh my God, those should absolutely sell out. And they don't. You're just like, what the fuck, man? And then you start trying to kind of like finite, just pick the shit out of everything. Well, maybe it's the economy. Maybe it's the first of the month. Maybe it's the end of the month. Maybe it's this. Maybe it's a holiday. Maybe it's, it's like, fuck. It's got to be maddening, dude, trying to figure it out, because I don't think there's any answer for any of it,
Yeah. But at the end
Uh,
of the day, just do what you fucking love, guys. Like, just make cool shit. Keep putting it out there. And if you want to go one direction, go a direction. If you want to try and tell people it's art, you want to get in a gallery, man, work the fucking game and do it. I also think like going out like I do like talking about the thing with the titty bean store. Like, I love the idea of someone just getting a trial kit like I did and
hmm.
doing a piece, and just there's something so fun about a pool. Like, your first pool of a piece coming out of a mold is so fun. I think people talk a lot about the people who disappear, right? Someone shows up, makes some pieces for a year, 2 years, and then disappears and whatever. You know what? I'm sad to see them go, but I'm so glad they did it, right? You know, as long as they're leaving on good terms, not someone who like whatever played a game or whatever.
Yeah.
But I do think and doing these things like shows or doing a thing at a library is such a great way to get people talking about what we do. Like my library has like a case in the kids section. They're like kids put in Legos and stuff like that. And I'm kind of like, maybe I can get my toy collection in there and they can see some other stuff. But um, yeah, that's all. Just I don't know, you guys celebrate yourselves and do what you do the way you want to do it. Just don't rip people off.
Yeah, dude. And I mean, like, if you've ever, I'm sure you've seen them, dude. But if I've seen multiple interviews with like Rick Rubin, and Rick Rubin's very big on just doing what you like and what sounds good to you. And if other people like it,
Hmm.
great. If they don't,
Hmm.
great.
Hmm.
That's just, and I think that's a pretty good formula. What's really cool, dude, is I think in this scene too, is that if somebody wanted to jump into, let's say they're making resin figures and they want to jump into Safubi or they wanted to jump into 2D art, I think they already have a really good base of like a support group of people who would encourage them on the way or say, hey man, like, maybe I'm going to give you some advice if you're going from resin to Safubi or something like that. Maybe there's some secrets, right? Or processes that they would share with you to kind of help you along the way, and you still have that base, kind of built in of just support in general, which is cool. So that's a good point. Fletch was asking how to follow more, how to get the algorithm to show more collectors accounts. Fuck man, I wish somebody knew anything about the algorithm and how that thing works, dude. I couldn't call it, man, honestly. I'm gonna share my screen again real quick, dude. We're coming up on 2 hours. We just hit 2 hours.
Yep.
I know you want to watch this hockey game, so let me I'm gonna jump on here real quick and just look at, I'm gonna share my screen, and we're gonna look at a couple things real quick. I know that now typically Crumbs would have these nice tabbies all set up with everything. We're gonna look at Dre real quick. I know that he's got a drop coming out. Let's take a look at this right here. Friday drop, that is tomorrow at 9 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific. That's actually going to be 6 p.m. Pacific there, buddy, if it's 9 p.m. Eastern. So just a heads up on that. 5 p.m. I'm not sure where that would be. Crude, Ravenous, Unknown, Deadly Spawn, Monsters #1, Ray. So here we go, man. That is looks like a
So
sculpted.
fun.
Yeah, dude, very cool. There will be 12 available in the first drop of Ray, original hand sculpted in wax and hand casted in single and double pours. Some with UV, couple with glow, etc. Scroll through for a teaser. Picks 3 of them. Nice. That is super cool, dude. Speaking of the 86 Mets. Nice.
Good colorway.
Yeah, very cool. Those are great, man. Cruds. #1. So get in on that. That will be tomorrow. Original hand sculpted. Bam. Very nice, dude. There's another one that I wanted to show. It was, I got to go to the messages real quick because it was from Pikmin. And it was this here. Bi-weekly on Fridays on Instagram Live. This is from the official Friday show account. Join us for our first show on IG Live featuring the incredibly talented hot actor on 5/16. That's going to be next week on Friday. Fridays, DAZE, your new Friday night toy talk obsession. Giveaways, great conversations, and exclusive drops. You don't want to miss it. So take a look at that if you're looking for something to do next Friday night. That is pretty cool. 6:30 p.m. Pacific. Are you familiar with these guys?
No.
No.
Yeah,
newer account. Only 193 followers. The toy show by collectors for collectors. So there you go, Fletch. If you're looking for something, maybe this would help out the algorithm. But this looks interesting, man. It looks like definitely some designer toys and toy art that these guys are going to be looking at on Friday night's Instagram Live. Check that out. You got anything else there, bud? We'll probably spin the wheel. That's actually a great point. I did not do that.
Yeah, spin the wheel. And I'm just going to show this again. I posted this on IG the other day. Does anyone know who made this guy? I'm really trying to remember. It says JT on the bottom. That's all I got. I went through all my DMs to see if I could figure it out. And I love this piece right now. So if you
I bet
know
Crumbs would
who
know.
made it, I messaged him and he gave me a couple options and I don't think it was any of them. So
Gotcha.
yeah. So if you remember, it's a good piece. Help a brother out.
A good
Tell me who it is.
The wheel. There we go. All right. So let me see how many we got on the wheel tonight. I think it was 29. Next week on the show, we got Zartan coming up. Let's go over that real quick, dude. I do want to show. I did a post the other day about the upcoming shows that we got. We got quite a few. We are booked out for the month of May, that's for sure. It was here. Tonight, we are here. Next week, this is going to be a fun one, man. Kachina will be here. I had a chance to meet him at Assembly Require, or not Assembly Require, but DesignerCon last year. Great dude. His paint is just off the hook. He is also having an online show that Friday based around his vinyl figure that he produced. That's gonna be really cool. We know just about everybody that's in that show. Take a look at that. That's gonna be an Instagram show on Friday the 16th. GI Show 3 coming up next week. And then on the 29th, we're gonna round out May talking to Yuckamuck, doing something similar that we're doing right now, hopefully with Crumbs in the house. So we got how many on the wheel, man? How many on the wheel tonight? That would be 29. All right, so let's get on the wheel here real quick. All right. 29 spots on the wheel. This is for the plastic vomit dead walk combo, which we'll look at here in a second. Here we go. I'm going to spin this right now.
Do, 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 do.
There you go.
Ooh, that's a nice one.
Number one, I already know that is strawberries.
Ooh, number one.
Nice win, dude. Let's go over his answer real quick, man. It was a good one. It was. It's going to be a good answer when it starts off like this. Honest truth? Question mark. Yes, please. Honest truth.
Yes.
My biggest challenge is myself. I am juggling work, family, and friends, plus this resin stuff, and it's been really difficult to find the time to do the things I want to do. The stressors of work and everything happening in the world inevitably drain you, and it takes a considerable amount of effort to just get out of bed in the morning. I applaud everyone who makes time for their artwork because money, responsibilities, and life in general are constantly pushing against you like Sisyphus stone. Great answer there, man. I think a lot of people can feel that one in a lot of different aspects, dude. He's a wildland firefighter, and his job is super demanding as it is. But he's like everybody else, dude. He's got a family, he's got kids, he's got a job. Making toys is not his source of income, so to speak, I guess. So I think when you combine all those things in, like a lot of people, when it's not the main source of income or hardly a source of income at all, besides covering your cost that you're putting out, those things time-wise tend to take a back seat on that spectrum of available time. And it sucks. You know what I mean? Like it really sucks because there's nothing you can do about it. You can work at it and try to create time here and there, but at the end of the day, man, priorities are priorities, and family's always first. So it's
No,
tough.
you're absolutely right, and that's why I'm going to abandon my family, I think, because I think the art is more important. And I'm going to go get on a plane tonight. I'm going to live the dream. No, but I do also think but I think it's funny though, because I think there's so many of us in the scene that I've gotten to know, and so many of us discover this. Not all of us, but so many of us discover this so late. Like, one of the hardest things for me is to discover, like, resin makes sense to me, right? This art makes sense to me in a way that I'm obsessed with and I love, and there's a frustration about discovering it so late that I'm at a point where I have less time, right? Like, it's not like when, I wish I discovered it when I was in high school or in college, where I had a lot more free time to just blow on whatever and on art and whatever. Because it is hard to balance all those things and do it. I think, I don't know, the zine is a nice balance for me, because then when I'm fucking tired, I just sit on the couch and pull up, the iPad and work on stuff. But
Yeah.
it is, yeah, like trying to find balance and all that stuff. But it is also, when I'm doing it, if you find the energy to get down there, and you guys know what I'm talking about here, like when you're down in that shop and you're on fire, everything just makes fucking sense. Like, you know what you're doing, the art's coming out hot, and everything looks good in your eyes, and you're in the zone. Sometimes though, it's just getting that fire to do it.
Yeah, there were some people that even commented on that too. It was just kind of how you keep that going and kind of stay in that zone, so to speak. Um, and who knows? Who knows what it is? I think it's probably different for everybody. But at the end of the day, man, people keep coming back. I mean, we see a lot of the same faces in here that we see every week, which is awesome. Um,
Mhm.
it's cool, man. It's definitely a thing for sure. Let's take a look at these bears real quick, dude. These are what DNS won. These are the dead
Grateful
walks.
Dead dudes, yeah.
Yeah, from Plastic Vomit. Very cool. Everybody is familiar with Plastic Vomit. And all they do, 3.75s, they got them by the barrel. DNS, bro, did you just get in here? Let me know if you just won, dude. I don't know if you know that or not, my dude, but you just won this giveaway, which was
Woo!
the Bears. You won that, dude, and we just talked about what an amazing, cool person you are. So maybe when this is over, if you didn't hear that, maybe you rewind it a little bit and turn it up and bring the neighbors over and
Mhm.
let them know how cool you are. But
You know what would
congrats,
be a
dude.
great, combo would be Plastic Vomit Customs right next to Cardboard Galaxy. Like, those two together would be a dangerous combo, man. You're just getting really great figures from Plastic Vomit Customs with some nice Star Wars cardboard cutout sets. I don't know. In my head, that's a nice pairing. You hit one, then you hit the other.
Nice. I don't know if I like that as much as the super terrible vomiting droids. That was
That is
awesome,
a
man.
good combo.
That was a great combo.
Oh,
That was the gift from that poster right there. So next week, Kachina on I think he's got his online show next week. There is not a lot of people in that show, but every one of them is going to be freaking stellar. Actually, if you don't mind, I just want to look at that real quick.
yeah, let's do it.
Kachina. Damn. So this is his show right here. It's a Time Bender group show. Wonder Goblin, ETC, Donner Don't Care, Dirty Yeti, Topher Toy, Barely Human, Maggitarius, Bootleg Toyco, False Idol Toys, Strafe, and Kachina Kachina. What a great lineup, dude. We know every single one of these folks, and they all do amazing work. This Time Bender show or the Time Bender figure is, oh God, dude, that was so good. Oh my God, look at that shit.
Mm-mm. Mm-mm.
Mm.
Not allowed. Not allowed.
God.
Mm.
Dude, thanks for being on tonight, man. Emergency show probably kept you longer than you expected.
Oh, I'm good for it. It's always fun to hang out. I hope I didn't blab too much. I just, whatever.
Well, there was
I
plenty
don't
of
know.
that. Whatever, we'll edit that out.
Yeah, but I mean, I'm sorry Chris wasn't here, but hanging out with you has been great, Benjamin. So I'm happy to be here on Toy Work.
Oh, toy work.
Isn't that what Toy Work,
That's
right?
Toy
Show.
work. I
Toy
hope
work.
Chris is okay, dude. I hope Chris's tooth is okay. But I'm sure we'll see him next week, man. And I'll let him tell you about the whole teeth thing, dude. I'm sure he'll tell you. It's just it sounds painful, dude, and I hope he's okay. But thank you everybody for watching tonight. We will see you next week. Bye bye.